evening, all. Welcome to the Sunday night, the Claret and Booze Up, the Sunday night Booze Up. I've had a few drinks. My name's Gary, and I'm joined this evening by John, and we will be joined later by Nick, who's he's delayed. He's delayed. Yes. But Nick's always delayed, isn't he, John? He's always delayed.
Yeah, he's becoming a bit of a liability on a Sunday, and he's always running late. It must be that managerial pressure. You know?
Well, it's either that or it's a superiority that kind of leads him to think he can just turn up late regardless, and we'll just sweep up after him. I think that's what it is.
Wants. Yeah, he does what he wants.
Having said that, I do have a song, actually, a new song that Sean Freshfielder has drafted. I'm going to read that out later. Right, but we're going to...
I haven't heard it. Is it good?
No, well, I'll let you decide. I'll let you all decide.
Okay.
It's I like the lyrics. I'm not so sure that the tune works, but anyway, look, you lot can be the judge. So before Nick joins, by the way, Nick's going to join probably in about another 20 minutes or something like that. He said he's having a terrible Sunday by all accounts. Don't know what's going on. He hasn't told me.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's struggling to be happy about our result yesterday.
I don't know.
I thought I'd get that in there.
I don't know. I'm hoping his team didn't lose a game of football earlier, because that would be out of the blue completely, wouldn't it? I mean, they're isolated at the top of the league. They haven't lost in like 3 years or something, have they?
Well, he's the self-proclaimed East Hearts manager of the season, isn't he? So
yeah.
If they've lost, I'll be very, very surprised. So interesting.
Yeah, I think he commissioned himself a trophy for that, didn't he?
He did. He's engraved it. He's got his kids putting it all together. Yeah, he's what he's like. I mean, he's not at all modest, is he? So
no. But look, success breeds success, and so let's talk about. We've got a few things to talk about tonight. Firstly, there was a Claret and Booze night out the other night. We went to a Bobby Moore sort of memorial night out down at the there was a Collier Road Catholic Club, I think it's called, which is just as well, because I'm Catholic. I think you're Catholic as well, aren't you, John?
Well, I mean, allegedly I'm Catholic, but I think things I've done in my lifetime would probably see me beheaded, if you know what I mean. But I think I'm Catholic by christening, whatever you call it. But I don't practice what I preach.
No, I don't either. But the good thing about Catholicism, right, is no matter what you do, you can go and get forgiven. That's why the mafia like it, isn't it? That's why the mafia like the old Catholicism, right? So, so we went along to the Catholic club. Me, John, Nick. I don't know whether Nigel's Catholic or not, but he came along with us as well. We had a good night out. We'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about what was a fantastic day out at West Ham yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, what a relief! First of all, we're going to talk about that in depth. The first half and the second half. There's plenty to talk about, and just how that left us feeling afterwards, and what we can read into that result. Right, and then we're going to look ahead to the Man United and Brighton games. We'll probably do, when Nick arrives, hopefully arrive just on time. We'll do the player ratings, but I don't think there'll be any donkeys.
And don't forget, we're going to open the phone lines as well and get some people to call in. So, look, we've had some great callers over the last couple of weeks, but we're always looking for new ones. So don't be scared. Give us a call when that happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, right, let's kick off. So Friday night, the Bobby Moore show, the Bobby Moore Memorial Show down in the Catholic Club, which is basically the little side room on next to the Catholic Church down Low Shoe Lane in Collier Row. And we went out to Spoons beforehand, John, didn't we? We kept it real. We went to Spoons, had a few beers, stumbled across to the Catholic Club. Inside there, I think you had it was one of these regular nights like they usually have down the Rusky Club and everything else, but you had Brian Deere, who had some really good stories. I thought he was really good. I've never heard him speak before. You had Patsy Holland, who doesn't have a perm anymore. I can confirm that. Yeah. You had next to him you had Kevin Locke, and then finally you had Jeff Pike. And you had Johnny Harris out in the audience as well. So it was a proper Bobby Moore night. I spent too much on the auction. Well, it makes a change for me to do it, eh, John?
Well, I mean, look, I'm going to tell people in the chat who may not already know, but we went to one. Was it last year at the Russ Club in Romford?
Yeah.
And I paid a little too much for Mark Noble's signed left boot. which is on my son's wall now. So it's getting good. It's getting good usage. But obviously, I was praying that the right boot wouldn't be there, because I probably would have bought that Friday night. Sorry, but yeah, I'm glad it weren't there, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was a good night, wasn't it? I mean, all those 4 guys all played at some point alongside Bobby Moore. Look, it was 30 years to the day of his passing, obviously, on that Friday. Yeah. And it was a good night, all for charity. The auction was great stories. It was just good to get out, really, as well. And I mean, look, we all live and breathe West Ham, so it is sort of a bit of a busman's holiday, but it's just good to do it in a different setting, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's nice to be in a room of West Ham. It's always nice to be in a room of West Ham, isn't it? And we had lots of drinking spoons. We had lots of drink in the Catholic club, and then we stumbled up the hill to Bollywood's Indian restaurant and had more to drink in there. So, and that was nice, actually. It was a nice way to finish the night, wasn't it? So good night out, good claret booze night out. Bit hungover on Saturday morning, it has to be said, but I woke up looking forward to this game because I just had a feeling. I woke up, I know I predicted 1-1 last week, but I tweeted out on Saturday morning because I woke up feeling a lot optimistic. I must have been like infused with West Ham belief or something overnight, but I woke up thinking, well, I think we might nick this. And I put it down as sort of heart over head because my head was saying 1-1, my heart was saying 2-0, easy win. And I've got a Forest friend as well. And I was chatting to him on WhatsApp in the morning. And he said, basically, we're rubbish away from home. We're just not very good.
Yeah.
And they'd scored like 4 goals. So look, I didn't read too much into that because that's usually what a team says just before they beat you.
Yeah, exactly. Like covering themselves before they.
Exactly. They're getting their excuses in early. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, just to let everybody know, I think old Nigel wants everyone to know that Nigel was also out with us, and apparently he said we was good company. So thanks for saying we were good company, Nigel. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
it was a good laugh. Actually, it was good having we got a good table.
In terms of the game, I called one. I thought 1-1, and even the day of the game, the morning of the game, my son had a game, and then when we started heading over there, I'm thinking, mate, I mean. You knew they were going to bring a lot of fans, and I'm still because we didn't know that changes were afoot. We thought it would be, even though we wanted changes, we just thought more would be same old, and I don't know what you thought, but when I saw the lineup, I was happy in many ways. I was happy in many ways.
I was happy, but I'll tell you what my initial reaction was. I thought we haven't seen, at least to my knowledge anyway, without checking, we haven't seen Ogbonna playing as part of a back 2 in the Premier League so far this season. He's played in plenty of back 3s. I don't know if he's played in a back 4. So I was a bit worried about that because that would mean he'd move to the left and Aguerd would move to the right, and Aguerd has been a star up till now, hasn't he, playing on the left of a back 4 or the left of a back 3. So I was a bit concerned with that, and I thought, I must admit, my first thought was, he's put Danny Ings in to do the same job as Antonio. And I was wrong about that. So hands up. What did you think? What was your reaction?
Exactly that. I said to the people I sit with, I said, because I didn't see that Moyes would change it up, right? And I looked, and I was happy that Ings was playing, but obviously I said to myself, well, he ain't going to be able to do what Antonio does. He's not Antonio. He ain't that battering ram. He ain't that sort of striker. Yeah. And I thought maybe he is changing it, but obviously we've had a lot of false dawns with Moyes in terms of I think a lot of people expecting to be the same old style, same old sort of formation and setup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it kind of in the first half it became apparent that we're taken on a different approach, right? We weren't playing, the midfield 3, I think, was key. And what you had there was Souček, Paqueta, and Rice. And the way I read it, which may be wrong, may be right, I read that as a kind of fluid middle 3, because early in the first half you had Souček going forward, pushing forward. And then it seemed that he would drop back and Paqueta would push forward. It seemed like it was, you know, there was, it wasn't just one size fits all. And I thought that's what it would be. I must be honest. Also, Bowen was good. I think Bowen was good all game. He was involved from the off, trying to find Danny Ings. There was a lovely little pass that he slipped inside to Danny Ings, and it was a bit of a clumsy touch. And I always, I was thinking with Danny Ings, you know, once you get your first goal and you get your nerves out your system, you might be a bit of a better finisher. But that's what I blamed for the Danny Ings miss. You know, that header, that lovely cross from Soufal. He really should have done better with that. I mean, he nearly hit the corner flag with it, didn't he?
I still think though that up until the break, we had a lot of possession, but we weren't creating a lot, and I was still a little bit unsure if we were going to break them down, because I don't think we played that well in the first half. I've got to be honest with you. I know the formation was different, but you know, we were still quite slow in our build-up play in the majority of that first half, I felt, in the main. And we didn't create loads, you know what I mean? It was the same old story, getting to the edge of the box and things breaking down, or things breaking down in wide positions. So at half time, I was pretty much still thinking it's a bit of the same old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of our speed of play, transition, it was still fairly slow, I felt. So I was a little bit underwhelmed.
It was, and you got to be honest. Inside the stadium, you could hear a pin drop for most of that first half. There was no excitement there at all, was there? It was dead. And so when we're dressing this up and sort of saying it was a fantastic result, which it was a fantastic result, when we left that ground buzzing, absolutely buzzing, delighted that we've thumped one of our relegation rivals 4-0.
Yeah, of course.
That ain't kind of the way the game played out. I agree with you. The first 45, it was underwhelming. I was having a moan at half time. For exactly that. There was one particular move where the ball moved out to the left 4 passes. Then it moved out to the right 4 passes.
Yeah.
And then out to the left again 4 passes. Then it went out of play. Or it might have been the other way around. I can't remember. But that was it was quite I don't know whether we were nervous. And that's what I put down, you know, the Danny Ings, the clumsy touch from the Bowen pass and the bad finish from the head. I put that down to nervousness rather than anything else. And those,
I've got to quickly bring this up from Eastside, because obviously, as we know, Eastside is a big fan of Benny. And I'm a big fan of Benny now over the last sort of season, but he's 100% right here. I was a bit like this. Benny was pissing me off, but after we got the first goal, he looked lively. The run he made into the box and pulled it back. Yeah, I mean, first half, I thought Benny was very, very wasteful, if I'm honest with you. And again, he was quite indecisive. And I thought, oh, come on, Benny, like, we need you to pick it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Eastside's, you know, he knows his football, and it's very honest of him to call out his North African.
Yeah, because he's a big Benny fan.
Number one player.
He's a big Benny fan, and I think that he's right. He's right, because Benny was getting quite a bit of stick over there, at least from the people behind us who are quite vocal. He was getting quite a bit of stick, and that went all the way into the second half. And those people that had given him stick suddenly went quiet, you know, at sort of midway through the second half. So I mean, look, the team's come out in the second half. Let's move forward. There's nothing else to talk about in the first half, have we? That's about it, wasn't it?
No, it was a bit of a it was a bit.
We were on top. We were on top possession wise. We were massively on top, weren't we? I mean, Forest didn't lay a glove on us in the first half, did they?
No. And but that was the most disappointing thing, was the fact that we hadn't created much for all the possession we had. You know what I mean? So yeah. No, and then we come out second half, and what do you think happened there?
Well, I think he went for it. I think Cooper came out and he went for it. And for 10, 15 minutes, we struggled to get on the ball. They spent a lot of the time in our half, again, without really hurting us in any way, shape, or form. You know, and it was a bit of a funny. I'm trying to remember, so I don't cheat with these shows, right? I don't look back at the facts. But what minute did that injury happen to Fabianski?
Oh, I'm guessing.
Can you remember?
I'm guessing maybe 55.
Yeah, that's a question for you, like in the chat, because I think that second half unpacked in this way, and this is the way I remember it as well. They were on top. There was the injury to Fabianski, right? And then after that injury to Fabianski, that was when we took control of the game, and Bowen had that lovely shot that hit the inside of the post, and we were right behind that, and we were sure that thing was going in. It was so disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know how
And then
that
it
stayed
came.
out.
I know, and it came out, and then Paqueta had that lovely shot which went just over the bar as well, and that was the point where the crowd started getting excited and started believing. That was the first time there was noise over there, wasn't it? And,
oh yeah, look, I've just called it up. Sorry, Gal. Areola come on in 69 minutes, much later than I thought. Bloody hell.
Yeah. So it might have happened the other way around then. So, and then what happened was, Cooper was. When did Ayew come on? Because Cooper was. It obviously wanted to go for it. It liked the early possession that he had, and they were pushing forward, and he wanted to create a little bit more. And he took Voldemort off and replaced him with Andre Ayew. Right.
Well, this is what Nigel said here, and we've sort of discussed this, haven't we? The game changed when he took Shelvey off, and it did to some extent.
Massively. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It did. He played into our hands. Cooper played into our hands with that one, because suddenly it was like a knife through butter. And that was so. I mean, we followed up that shot, and I don't know if you saw what happened, what Forest did, but when Bowen had that shot off the post and then Paqueta had the follow-up shot, immediately after that, one of their players went down feigning injury in the middle of the pitch. And that gave me flashbacks to the away game earlier in the season, which is exactly what they did when we were on top. It is a Forest tactic to take the heat out of the game, to just go down, roll. Well, I mean, they took it to another level at their place, right? This guy went down, holding his leg, waiting for the trainer to come on, walked him off the furthest place he could on the pitch, got him off. The guy came back on, and 2 minutes later, the same bloke is down holding his leg again, right? Yeah. And that's what I thought when they started doing that yesterday. Yeah, go on.
Just to interject, Ayew come on 67.
Yeah.
Areola came on 69. So that was the right sequence. What you said. Yeah. Sorry.
So that was so that is so that definitely changed the game without a shadow of a doubt. It was a bit of an own goal by Cooper, and I think up until that point we weren't really getting through them, and I think we would have eventually. But wasn't it lovely though to see our players once we started warming up, to start growing confidence? You could see them growing confidence. So let's talk about first goal.
Well, the first goal was fantastic, because if you look at Rice, he's running back to his own goal in the left back position. And instead of kicking the ball out or just rolling it back to the keeper, he's done a little turn. He's played it into Cresswell, who's then found Ings just inside his own half. He's pinged a beautiful, crossfield ball into the path of Bowen. Bowen's done what he should do, which is, get his head down, take the man on and run. He skewed it across to some extent. It's a bit of a skewed cross, if you like. And Ings, in my opinion, I mean, that is a typical Danny Ings fox in the box type of goal, because that ball was behind him. He had to sort of reach back with his foot almost. But he, as a striker, they're not always beautiful goals. They're not always pretty goals. But you've just got to do the necessary to get the ball on target. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a fantastic, like a proper striker's finish. You know what I mean? Like Cotty or McAvenny or proper strikers,
It really was, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy in the slightest. And I think that, no, I'm not drinking wine from the bottle. I'm drinking more Elvis juice by Brewdog, right? And I appear to be, again, a little bit red on camera. That's probably because I am. But
it's not.
I've tried to sort my lighting out. I've tried to be a little bit less red, but I can't help it.
It's not cherry red. Gary, I've told you before, you're drinking out of date Elvis juice. It will send you red. It's part of the side effects. Yeah,
it's free though. It's free.
Right. Well, I know, but it's still out of date, mate.
It's only a couple of days out of date. It's fine, right? But anyway, look, it's lovely. It makes me feel nice. It makes me feel, how can I say, even happy and old William. But that was, I thought, a really lovely goal, and it was a sigh of relief when that ball went in. And we just didn't know what was about to unfold, did we? Because
crazy couple of minutes.
Danny Ings, you just thinking, fucking hell, you give him a chance, he'll score a goal. First half, we started to doubt that when he missed those couple of chances, right? And one chance anyway. And then he just puts a really difficult chance away, but a proper poacher's goal, like you said. And then it's all down to Ben Rama. Ben Rama gets the ball, drives to the line, and cuts it back to Danny Ings. And this is nothing. I mean, you think the first one was hard. Is all he's done here as a striker, in my eyes, is he knows where the goal is. He's tried to direct that ball towards the goal any way he can, using any bit of his body that he can. Right?
He's done the textbook striker number 9 role. He's run across the front post to try and get something on it. Again, he's hit his knee. He's bobbled over the line, but I couldn't give a monkey's if it was a 40-yarder or a 1-yarder like that was. Again, the place just absolutely erupted. I mean, I've never seen. We were celebrating these 2 goals.
It was good.
It was. Listen, we're not going to go over the top because we know who we beat and we know it's long overdue. But the thing is that I noticed yesterday, especially after the first goal, but even more so after the second goal, there was a look of almost disbelief from the players.
Yep.
But that was quickly followed by complete joy. And just, it was so good to see the players happy again. Pressure had sort of been lifted a little bit. You know what I mean?
It was relief, wasn't it, John? It was relief and happiness because you'd seen what they had offered so far, right?
Yeah.
And you really couldn't see them offering anything else that was going to hurt us, could you? Really?
No.
What I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to download again. I should have done this earlier, but I blame Nick. I blame Nick for not. I always blame Nick for everything. Right, so let's put that on there. So that was brilliant, and so 2-0 up, we're cruising, we're loving it, we're absolutely loving life, and then it goes from strength to strength. I only noticed this when I watched it back on Match of the Day, but there was some lovely interplay between Paqueta and Benrahma.
What, for the second goal?
For the second goal, leading up to the second goal, and it culminated with Benrahma, who gets an assist for this, but he played it back to Rice, who has instinctively, you can see he does this in training all the time, instinctively just looked up, curled it into the top corner. And if you listen back on Match of the Day, as soon as Rice received that ball, the crowd was shouting, shoot, 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 which was just, it was just so perfect. It was so perfect in every way. And I'm trying to get.
It was very reminiscent of his goal against Arsenal, wasn't it? His first goal.
Yeah, it was. It was, and I'm trying to get this lovely photo, right? This lovely photo. It's going to come up. I think it's this one.
Hang on, Gal. Someone's diagnosed you. Hang on.
I'm just going to show you. Hang on a minute. This is what we saw. This is what we saw in the Bobby Moore lower, right?
Yeah.
Was a very, very, very happy Declan Rice. Absolutely fantastic, right? That's a photo courtesy of Chris Miles. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for that. So should we welcome Nick in? It's about time he turned up.
No, leave him in the cold. Leave him out in the cold. We don't need him.
Yeah, bring him in from the green room.
I'll bring myself in. I'll do what I want, won't I?
He does what he wants. Right. So look, we're again. We said earlier you're going to be late, but we're not going to do a complete replay of the game, right? So
no, that's fine.
We are up to the Declan Rice goal. So
yeah.
So what do you think so far, Nick?
What of
the game up until this point?
Up until this point, so we are at goal number 3. You're at the Declan Rice goal.
Declan Rice.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of out the blue in retrospect. I mean, I was very happy in the post match reaction, but I think when I think back, I was probably quite uncomfortable up until the 60th, 65th minute. Yeah. Not because we was doing anything wrong, but I was thinking, shit, we're not scoring, we've got no cutting edge. It's going to happen again. We're not going to get the goal.
Yeah.
But obviously we had a bit of a crazy. What was it? 8 minutes.
Yeah, 3 and 8.
Bit of a crazy 8 minutes, and look, you've spoken about the Ings goals already. 2 poachers goals, and Declan Rice's goal, that was fucking unbelievable. It was Declan Rice surging run from midfield. He plays it out to Benny. Benny does a little jig, and he does the right thing. Plays the ball back to Declan Rice, and he just sets it, and he just strokes the ball in. Then he just clips it into that far post. It was caressed it in. I think I should say caressed it into the far post. It was a beautiful strike, and as you've shown that picture that Chris Miles took, the fucking relief that was on it must have been the same for everybody in the stadium as well. But I think He's been taking a lot of pelters. He has. You know, we've given him a bit of criticism as well on here. We have. And you know what? He is a young lad. Yes, does he want to move on? He might do this, that, the other. But I don't think we should ever think that he doesn't want to do the best for West Ham while he's here, because he does. I do believe that, and I think that goal meant the fucking world to him. That win, right. The win meant the world to him as well.
I think you're right. And another thing, I don't know if you noticed, John. I don't know if you noticed in the ground, but I certainly did. And this was Paqueta's celebration when Rice scored, because he went on doing that sort of fucking aeroplane thing behind him, as if, you know, he was delighted. And I never expected a reaction from that from Paqueta. I mean, the guy is obviously feeling it. You know, he's feeling it.
Paqueta was involved in everything in that game as well. I think did you say, Gary? It was only when you watched Match of the Day you realised the involvement that he has in almost everything positive that we was doing. Yeah. He's such a good player.
By the way,
he's got everything. Paqueta.
By the way, in that game, Danny Ings and Ben Rama were also quite happy.
Yeah. Good pick.
Yeah. So look, I think that was that was brilliant. We didn't think it was going to get any better, and then the substitutions happened. I think Moyes got the substitutions right for a change, and that was give Danny Ings his moment of glory, let him be clapped off the pitch, right? Let him take a bit of adulation, because confidence breeds confidence, and for a striker, confidence is everything. And he's just scored 2 goals in his first start. Give him the heroes reception and let him, got that absolutely bang on. And he brought Fornals on, he brought Antonio on, and who else? There was 3, wasn't there?
Lanzini, Fornals, yeah.
And Lanzini's missus has been beating up David Moyes on social media recently, saying how he needs to get more game time, and so Moyes clearly didn't want any more trouble from her, so he's given Lanzini some game time. But then that led to the to the 4th goal, where, you know, everybody was involved, but the ball broke out to Fornals. It was by the byline. He cut back. The defender didn't take his legs out. I think that's what Fornals was waiting for. He just left him with a freebie chip across to Antonio at the far post, who just dived in and completely wiped out the defender. Typical of what Antonio used to do.
Yep.
You give a player service. That's what happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, they hung Fornals hung the cross up, and it allowed Antonio to run onto it and head it in. Now, what we noticed yesterday, as we spoke about, and I said earlier, was there's no doubt that Ings is a fox in the box. There's no doubt that Scamacca is a striker that can score goals. There's no doubt that Antonio scored goals in the past. But this season, the problem we've had is not putting crosses into the box, not putting balls in front of the strikers to attack. Everything we've been doing with our strikers, we've been playing it up to our strikers. We've had their back to goal, right?
Yeah.
Which is, they're not going to score goals like that. Yesterday, and I'm not getting carried away because we know Forest were crap. So, you know, I'm just taking it for what it is. We played balls in front of the strikers for them to attack. They are attackers. Antonio attacked the cross, headed it in, and Ings, both his goals, you know, one was 1 yard, one was 8 yards. They were just there for him to attack, for him to run onto. It's an easy job to do if you can run onto a ball and attack it, and that's what we did yesterday.
I don't know why it took so long for David Moyes to use exactly the same players in the right way and set us up in an offensive formation, because that's what it was, you know, especially second half. Again, that's a bit of a worry, I suppose, that all of that good attacking happened from 70 minutes onwards, you know. But I don't want to try and create a negative out of a positive, because it was just a fantastic day, and credit where it's due. We won. And Nick, you ready to do the player rating soon?
Well, we'll speak to the chat and see if they want to do that. But what I was going to say is it's definitely tactical. You know, we changed something in the second half. We started getting bodies forward. We started, as John said, we started getting good deliveries into the box. It was very different. We looked far more threatening. And do you know something? It has nothing to do with the fact that, oh, look, we've got Ings. Oh, look, we've got Paqueta. Yes, they're all good players. We looked just the same when those players went off, when Fornals, Lanzini and Antonio came on. We looked the same. It's the way that we play. We've had the players to play this way for a long time. That's my only negative.
Yeah.
My only negative is the fact that again, we've said it before, and I know that we was only playing Forest, but it's definitive proof we haven't had to play the way that we've been playing for so long. So that is.
And also, Nick, the thing is, the good point you make there is it was only Forest, but we've played other was-onlys this season and been shit.
Yeah.
So when people say don't get carried away, we're not getting carried away, and no one's getting carried away because we've played other shit teams this season and played boring football. Yeah. But for whatever reason, yesterday the tactics were different because all the players all played the same way.
Yeah, but fucking hell, football's about emotion.
Mandy G just called me a gimp. Block the gimp, Nick.
Yeah, but
no.
But look, football's about emotion. We get all fucking miserable when we lose, right? So let's be happy when we've won, and I'm very, very happy with that. I was walking on air coming back from that ground yesterday.
I genuinely forgot how to celebrate. I feel like this season. So yesterday I was almost in a state of shock, especially with 3 goals in 8 minutes. I mean, we've been averaging less than a goal a game. You know what I mean? So just
there's a guy behind. We have a good bit of banter with the guys behind in the Bobby Moore lower because we're like second row from the back, and the guys behind they go to a lot of away games. To see them at away games, they know all the up to date away songs and stuff like that, and they know how much that singing Super David Moyes up at Derby wound me up, right? So it got to when that 4th goal went in yesterday, the guy behind me started singing, "We've got Super David Moyes." I turned around and said, "Yeah, for fucking love." He said, "Yeah, I did that for you."
but what I will say, as good as that was, that was one game. We're still only 2 points from the relegation zone. He needs to be doing this time and time again. It was a really important win. We had to win against Forest. We had to. We needed 4 wins. 5 wins now. We only need 4. It was critical that we won that. But for the rest of this season, I don't want to see David Moyes. That even if it was David Moyes back to the wall, he had to come out. It was the last chance saloon, and he's gone out and he's trying to kitchen sink it in his way. I don't think it really was. It was, but he's got to see himself that is the way to get the best out of these players. He has to see that. And if, for any reason now, even if we go away to Brighton, because Brighton ain't fucking Man City, they're playing well, and they're even better if you let them play. The reason our defence, we're not really talking about our defence today, is because we kept Forest pegged back. If you got the ball and you attack, the ball spends more time down the other end of the pitch.
Yeah.
So but what I'm saying is, John, if he reverts back, I'm going to say it now. If he reverts back against Brighton, he's fucking deranged.
Oh yeah. No, listen, I totally agree with you. But you know what really surprised me yesterday, and when I watched Match of the Day back last night, I thought to myself, it was what was even more unusual was the fact that we went 1-0 up and we still went for it. We didn't regress. We still played to get more goals. And I was like, bloody hell, this is when I thought about it last night, I was like, yeah, we're getting them by the throat. We're not nicking them 1-0 up and sitting back. You know what I mean?
I hope he's taken the criticism personally because he did react to it. He reacted to being called negative, right? Yeah, and he, because I think that also came from Deck, right? That criticism, and he's come out and said, "Oh, perhaps we were a little bit negative, right? So perhaps even he has decided that we've got to take the ball by the horns a bit." There's no way. When you look at the players we've got, you look at the great players we've got in, the second half when we were playing well. Bowen, Benrahma, Paqueta, Rice, Souček. I'm going to bring him into it as well because he played very well yesterday, right? Yeah, all those players. That is a team that should not be afraid of the likes of Brighton.
No.
I can understand being afraid of Man United away or Liverpool away or something like that, where you're just literally going to go and try and nick a draw.
I do think as well, because as you know, I've said it ages ago, and we've sort of all agreed because of the lack of world-class wing-backs we've got, the four at the back suits us because it allows Ben Johnson, Soufal, etc., whoever might be there, to not have to worry about getting up and down the pitch too much. They can just concentrate on being defenders, which is what their best skill sets are. They are not world-class wing-backs. So when you play the flat-back four, you have to play to the strengths of your players in your squad. And we know that we haven't got great world-class wing-backs. So four at the back for me has been a no-brainer for a long time, personally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you.
You know how much I loathe the back three. I've been saying it for quite some time, especially for West Ham.
I like it.
Especially for West Ham.
I like it, but it doesn't suit West Ham, probably. Yeah. because
it's got a place. It's got a place, right? If we go away to, like when we went away to Newcastle and we played back three, no one's arguing with that. That's fine, right? And then we played away to Tottenham. The thing that was wrong with that wasn't the back three. It was the three central defensive midfielders in front of the back three. It was the back eight, right? That's what made that wrong. But I can understand playing a back five and a sort of semi-defensive formation against a team who you expected to lose to. But the problem was we weren't expected to lose to Chelsea. We weren't expected to lose to Tottenham in their current guys, right? You might struggle away to Man United or fly in.
We played them, right? we played the names, not the teams. That's what we did there. Both of those teams are not the Chelsea and Spurs that they have been in previous years. I don't think at the moment.
So basically, the formation we saw yesterday, I think everyone would agree, it's a bit of a silly question, but the formation we saw yesterday is the formation we should stick with now going forward. And if he changes it, just because we're playing A, B, or C team, then it makes no sense, does it?
It makes no sense at all. I mean, all that does prove is that he reluctantly does what he knows he has to do to get the win. But the thing is, that really is a mind fuck, because if he knows that this is the way to get wins, it's what he does when his back's against the wall. Why does he only do it when his back's against the wall? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. But I would expect
it doesn't make any fucking sense to me the way he sets teams up. Not at all.
No, but I would see the logic if he was doing if it was horses for courses, right? So for instance, we go to Man United on Wednesday. If we played a back three at Man United and he gives Ogbonna a rest and he brings Zuma back because he needs some game time, right? So you have Aguerd and Zuma and Kera who didn't get a game. Then you have Emerson back in the team, right? That would potentially be, a sensible thing to do in my mind, rather than playing Ogbonna again, because Ogbonna, you can't be, now he's finally back up to speed and playing well. Don't overdo it with him.
Yeah, I think also the thing is, what you got to remember is, as Nick said in his video the other day, as of mid-March, we're going to be playing 2 games a week as long as we're in the Europa Conference League. So he will need to change personnel to some degree to fight on both fronts. And then what you've got to think is when he changes players, is whether or not he thinks they can play that system. It's it's going to be difficult to see what he does. I mean, I think the Man United game, to be honest with you, after that performance, I think the Man United game's come at a bad time for us, because I would like to have gone straight into a league game against Brighton without that in the middle breaking it all up.
Yeah,
because I think there could become a bit of a.
I agree with you, John. But we have got some players coming back from injury who probably need a game.
It's a good distraction.
Yeah.
Oh, John's gone.
But no. But I hope he does go for it. I mean, I'm going to that game, Brighton, at the weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Taking Lee. So, how many games we've not beat them for how many years?
We've never beaten them in the Premier League.
We've not beaten them. Yeah, I know.
Not once.
I know. And they are playing but there's no.
But that was when Potter's in charge.
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
This is true. So I haven't set the player ratings up. Do we want to do the player ratings?
Yeah, do the player ratings. Come on, we need to do player ratings.
Okay. All right.
While you're doing that, I'll go through the chat, Nick.
Yeah, go on,
Nick,
mate.
while you're doing that, I'll go through the chat, some questions and points in the chat, mate. 1 sec. Let me get it up. Where are we? Start about. Yeah. Lawrence Salmon says, here we go. Sorry. Every game needs to be last chance saloon for Moyes. Next loss, he's off. I genuinely did. I didn't think he'd get the boot even if we lost yesterday, if I'm honest. I think he's almost irreplaceable in Sullivan's eyes.
I think he's irrelevant. Can I just say, I think he's irrelevant, right? We're talking about with 14 games to go. If we're asking for Moyes to be sacked now, listen, I wouldn't be against it still, because it's one win.
Me neither.
But as the time goes on, it becomes more and more irrelevant, because you've just got this finite amount of games, a small amount of games. The good thing is, we've won 1. We probably had to win 5 before yesterday. We've now got to win 4 of our remaining 14. That's looking a whole lot more possible.
I will say I am definitively Moyes out and always will be. And irrespective of how this season finishes, I want him gone in a puff of smoke in the summer.
Oh, he will be gone in the summer.
I don't give a fuck how well we finish. I can't ignore the last 14 months.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, but I think when you're talking about this season,
now it's about the club rather than the manager.
Listen, let's do whatever it takes to survive, whether that means Moyes staying or Moyes going. Yeah.
Right, so here we go. 10 men at the back. Johnson is a better left back. I just want to say, yesterday's game once again proved the versatility of Johnson. He was left back first half. He ended up right back second half. And I thought he had a fairly good game, to be honest with you. He was strong defensively. I think I read a stat earlier. I'm sure I read it. I might be wrong. So if I'm wrong, tell me. I think his win percentage when he plays or starts for West Ham something like 60%. Or something ridiculous.
He's such an agile player. What do you do
when
against?
He plays, we generally win, I think, or something like that. When he starts or something like that. I might have misread it. So
he came on and played. What was it? Left side of a back three against Newcastle, right side of a back three in the following game, and now he's played left back and right back. Guy can play anywhere across the back line and do a good job.
Mate, you know what? When you've got a player like that, what are we quabbling over wages for?
Yeah, I know. Just sign him. Just
fucking sign him up. He can play. He's a sort of kid who, to me, looks like he won't ruffle any feathers. He just wants what he feels he deserves. I'm sure it ain't silly money for a footballer these days. I'm sure I don't know, but I'm sure it's quite reasonable anyway, and I'm sure he's worth it because he'll get snapped up by a lot of clubs, you know.
Well, apparently he's a mature young kid. He's not one of these that's out fucking nightclubbing all the time and stuff like that. He's a grown up, you know. Exactly. He's a mature kid. So, he's not gonna run off for a pound note. So, I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
Leonardo says he tries to set his teams up to counter the opposition rather than having them counter us and worry about us. That is the sad part.
He does, but that wasn't what he done yesterday, Leo. It wasn't what he done yesterday.
No, not yesterday. But in the main, he does. Yeah, I agree. Let's hope that changes going forward. Garino says Moyes wants to play the back three, but he will only change it due to injuries or out of desperation. In other words, he needs an excuse to change it. Well, yeah, like Nick said, if he felt that was his last chance alone, maybe he's changed it through fear of losing his job rather than anything else.
His job was on the line yesterday. He said after the game yesterday, he said, I was talking about 250 wins, only the third manager to do it in the Premier League. And he said, I wish I'd had a few more. He said, sometimes you just need wins to keep yourself in a job. So he was being quite open there, right?
Yeah, true. Chris Harris says, I think he went with Johnson to negate Brennan Johnson's pace. That's the thing that surprised me yesterday. The times I've seen Forest, I've always thought they were, they had a lot of nippy players, but yesterday they offered nothing, those players. No. I mean, I was quite shocked.
Well, I think Chris is right, though. I think Ben Johnson negated his cousin. It's probably not his cousin, but the Johnson battle down one side.
Who should we use as a prop for Danny Ings this week? Vlasic? Shall I put Vlasic in that number 9?
I do. Yeah. Similar height.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. What's this one? It says Emerson is a wing back, not a left back. Johnson's best games for us have been playing as a standard left back. Yeah,
they have been.
Yeah, they have been, even though he's so right footed. But yeah, he's played really well. Where else we got here? Hang on. Some more. Sorry, lads.
And don't forget, like you just said, right? There's going to be 2 games a week soon, so we're going to need all of these players.
Yeah, of course. Declan Rice and the players won't let Moyes go back to his defensive tactics. That's interesting. Maybe they have decided amongst themselves to have a mutiny and play a little bit more expansive.
I hope you're right, Vinny. I hope you're right.
Yeah. Right, we ready for the
didn't we mention that though, John, on previous games? Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that if the players, like when Declan Rice came out after the last game and he kind of said, look, this isn't working. We're playing too many defensive players. Do you not think at some point it can be on the players to take it upon themselves?
My argument was, and I played to a high standard over Hackney Marshes. Nick. You know how good I was, right?
Top draw, John.
Sock draw.
Well, most of us have got a sock drawer. Most of your socks are under your bed. But what I'm saying is, if I'm playing for a manager and I'm a player who trusts his ability, got all the flair like Rice, Paqueta, all that team is full of internationals, and the manager's playing these defensive tactics. At some point, it'd be interesting if a player would get together, like senior players come together and go, you know what, when we go out on that pitch, let's play a bit more attacking. Now, I'm not saying they did that yesterday. I'm not saying Moyes wasn't the person to change that. But, I think there's a little bit of responsibility on the players to say, you know what, F you, I'm going to do what I want, sort of thing, to some extent. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me being wishful.
I think he appeared to be enjoying it far too much for it to have been a mutiny, because he is such a control freak that if the players went against his wishes, I think even if we'd have been winning it, he'd have been pissed off.
Depends what players, though, doesn't it? It depends what players.
Hang on. So if we were winning, he was pissed off. Oh, if they went against him, you mean?
No, if they went against him, do you know what I mean? Right. Anyway, John Fabianski. I'll tell you what, we'll do a double header. You can do Fabianski and Areola. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. So Fabianski, I don't think he had a great deal to do in his time, but what he did okay. He was still a little bit slow with distribution, I felt. But the fact that he took a knock on the head and went off, what did I say? Went off after 69. I'll give him a 6.
Give him a 6. Okay.
Areola, the first thing I noticed with Areola, right, was that every time Fabianski gets the ball, he plays it short in the main, right?
Yeah.
As soon as Areola had his first opportunity, it was in his hands. He booted it long.
It was a pass. It was a sideways. You see the technique. It was like a Pickford technique. It was fucking brilliant. And he found Souček.
But I've never seen Fabianski even attempt that. No. And that to me obviously shows that the old and the new. What I mean by that is obviously Fabianski is your old style sort of keeper, and that's not meant disrespectfully. It's just he's a different era.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously Areola for me, you can see straight away that he's got that new modern style. And also, I don't know if it was after we was 1-0 up, but he made a fantastic save.
It was at the end. It was at the end because weren't Lingard involved? I'm sure we was 3-0 up at that point.
Earlier.
No, Lingard. Oh, but there must have been 2 saves then, because near the end, Lingard was involved in the build-up, and yeah, it was with his left hand, wasn't it? He fucking brilliant, really, really good reaction save.
Yeah, I just think he will look. I love Fabianski. I'm not
claim crosses, claim 2 crosses from corners.
Yeah, I just think Areola will create a different dynamic. He will help the transition from defence to attack a lot better than Fabianski. I'm not slagging off Fabianski. He, in the main, he doesn't do anything wrong. He's just a little bit slow at times, coming off his line and distribution. But I think now Areola's going to have an opportunity now to stake his claim to be number 1 belatedly. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was very good. Yeah, he had a little bit more to do than Fabianski, and he just had a little bit more confidence, if I'm honest.
That is what a modern goalkeeper though is, John, isn't it? It's like they play a part in they play a part in the team rather than just being there to save.
And that's the thing. Look, Fabianski is still a good keeper. He is, but Areola is the better keeper. This is the thing. He's the better choice.
That's an average performance.
He loves Fabianski, doesn't he? He loves Fabianski. Goal, they don't need a kick. He don't believe in all that distribution bollocks, does he? He said goalkeepers are in the goal to save the fucking ball. That's it. That's what he says.
Yeah, but that's why Nigel only ever turned out for the dog and duck. You know what I mean? He never got any further than me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I'll tell you what. The other night in the curry ass, you know, me and you, John.
That's good night, wasn't it? Good night.
We went for Vindaloo. I don't know what Nick went for. Might have been something spicy. Nigel didn't go for something spicy, did he?
Hang on a minute. He's still going at me. Look, I explained why, Nigel. Great distribution, couple of good saves, coming out for taking crosses, and he moves the ball a bit quicker, mate. There's my reasoning. If you don't like it, go and watch another channel.
20 good minutes, Nigel. 20 good minutes.
He knows where I live. He's going to come around there.
We need to rattle through these ratings because we need to take some calls. I've got 2 lined up already. Gary Johnson.
I thought was really good. He didn't do anything. He got caught out a couple of times in the first half, but just through his agility, playing left back and right back in the same game, I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay. Agility or utility?
Utility and agility.
I'm going to double up again. I'm going to give you Cresswell.
Cresswell?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake! Well, he was brought on for a reason, and that was someone who can take set pieces. Yeah. And Soufal went off injured as well. But yeah, I thought they did target him. He
had one iffy moment. He had one iffy moment.
Yeah, so I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't warmed up for the game. He was he was skinned alive a couple of times. Like when he very quick. I mean, You know, I respect you. I respect your scoring, Gal, but I disagree. But there you go.
Yeah, he's only half though, isn't it? And he wasn't warmed up. You're right. He never had a chance.
Vladimir Soufal, I'll do. Only half a game. I'll give him a 6. I think he couldn't have really done any more. No, I will give him a 6. He did put in a very good cross yesterday for Danny Ings, and Danny Ings should have done better. That header, it was a fucking awful header. The header went fucking out near the corner flag, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a bad header.
It was a bad header. So
50 pence said.
Yeah, but he always puts in a shift. No, I can't give him a 7. I think a 6 is about right. He didn't play the full game, did he? So he didn't do anything wrong. I think we got better when he went off.
Yeah, we did.
I think we got better. Right, John Ogbonna.
Yeah. I thought Ogbonna had a very steady game. I mean, I was very worried about Chris Wood at the beginning of the game because Chris Wood seems to always score against us, but I can't remember him doing sod all, really. I thought Ogbonna was good, steady, assured. The quality was there. I was a bit worried about him being on the left. I don't know why. I know he's left-footed, but I think because Aguerd's been so good on the left of the centre-back free, as it has been. But, yeah, I needn't have worried. I thought he was very good, and I would be happy to give old Malteser Red a 7.
He was good, wasn't he?
He was very good. Very, very good. We didn't hear. I forgot Chris Wood was even playing.
Yeah, look, Mandy says Oggy was faster than Chris Wood.
Yeah, he actually was, and that's saying something. Fucking hell. Right, Naif Aguerd, Gary.
Well, look, Guy is playing out of position on the right-hand side of defence where he hasn't done well previously, but yesterday he was absolutely bulletproof. He was rock solid. He didn't have much of a challenge up against him, but, you know, Forest scored goals. They you know, that you got to give credit where Forest have not created opportunities. You've got to give credit to our defence for helping them to not create opportunities, right? So I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Okay. Right. Rice. I'll give that one to. Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Rice was superb yesterday. I thought he was brilliant. I don't think he did. He put a foot wrong. If you, I don't know if you've seen his stats that are floating about. I'm not going to rattle them off because I can't remember them all. But it was insane. He had the most touches of any player on the pitch. Pass success rate of 98%. He created the most chances as well from full passes. He was outstanding. In fact, there's probably 4 players I think that are up there for man of the match, and we'll talk about them in a bit. But for Rice, with the goal, I'm going to give him a 9.
Woo!
I'm going to give him a 9.
High score indeed.
Yeah.
No. It's deserved. I think he just for the smile on his face when he scored that goal. He absolutely loved that goal.
Gary, it was a near perfect performance from him. He
was fantastic.
He did not put a foot wrong.
He was fantastic. But I'm just saying, I loved that cheesy grin on his face after he scored that goal.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It was
right.
You know what I loved? Because down at Bobby Moore, I was down the bottom right, and when Ings scored the second goal, Rice didn't even go and celebrate with the players. He just literally jumped into the crowd. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
he did. My boy got squashed and everything. It was brilliant. So it was really good. And he kept Voldemort quite as well, didn't he?
He did. Gary, Thomas Souček.
Thomas Souček, I thought, had a very, very good game yesterday. I thought he also, what I noticed was, especially towards the end of the game, if you don't believe me, go back and watch it on Match of the Day. Some passes in tight areas.
I noticed.
He was absolutely fine with, right?
Yeah. He still doesn't look comfortable doing it, but he pulled it off.
He believe he could do it, and he can actually do it.
He pulled it off, yeah.
Can actually do it. So I'm going to give Tommy. I'm going to give him an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Fuck me, that is all
right. Question people scoring.
No. Honestly, those 3 in the middle, I'm just going to say, Paqueta, Rice, and Souček, they played their own game by themselves. That midfield trio, they were covering for each other. 1 went forward, 2 stayed back. They were swapping up. They were doing everything right. I couldn't criticize.
More fluid, I think you said earlier on.
Fluid is the word.
We love a bit of fluid. Right, go on, John. Paqueta.
What? Paqueta, very good game. Was everywhere. Was involved in all the goals. Was doing nice little flicks around the corner. Look, Geezer behind me. He was doing some flicks early on, and people were saying, "Stop doing the fancy stuff." When we hadn't scored. But you cannot tell a player with that ability to not do it, because when it comes off, it's magical. When it doesn't come off, you do sort of think, "Oh, for fuck's sake, just pass it." But that is what you get with someone like that. Look, Di Canio.
It was coming off more often than not yesterday.
Yes, it was. But before the goals went in, people were nervous. People were highlighting the ones that didn't come off. He was class, as Garino says. He was brilliant. He was involved in every goal. I love the fact that he doesn't shirk a challenge. And look, defensively, he does his job as well.
He does.
I would say the fact that he was involved in all 4 goals as well, I'd give him a 9. So I'd put him on a 9 alongside.
I completely agree. I think Paqueta, for me, I'm going to say it now, even though we've got Declan Rice in the team, who's great in his position, from what I'm seeing of Paqueta, I'm telling you now, he is our best player. Paqueta is our best player. The reason I say that is because he's got everything. He's got class. He's got skill. He's got passing ability. He's got vision. He's got physical stature, and he's got tenacity, and he's got the hard work to match it as well.
What he does is like like a pure breed dog. A pure breed dog that's bred to do certain things in certain ways. It's like he is a pure breed footballer that's bred to do certain things in certain ways, right?
He's our best player.
Yesterday, he had a player in front of him, and he had to pass to the West Ham player who's behind this Forest player, right? And now, he could have taken many options. He could have played it to the left to another West Ham player. He could have tried to put a ball through this player around the side of him. Yeah, what he's decided to do is just lift it over the top of him, just high enough so this guy who put this desperate kind of lunge to try and head it, but it was just too high. The guy couldn't reach it, and it went straight to the foot of the West Ham player. And that's the kind of artistry that you got from the likes of Payet.
He's a different type of player, but in his position, he's an artist. He's outstanding, and he's only gonna get better. He is.
So you say he's got everything, Nick, but I'll tell you one thing he ain't got.
Go on.
A terrible haircut like Declan Rice, but that's another story.
Yeah, that was bad, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, he almost scored yesterday, didn't he? Paqueta, that was close.
But when Bowen laid it back to him,
he placed it. It was literally just a few inches lower.
He was doing that in the warm up. He was doing that in the warm up. He was taking shots.
I'm not sure it's a few inches, Nick. I know what you're like with inches, mate.
Yeah. Right, at least 6 inches. Right, come on, Gary, Benrahma.
Benrahma. Well, look, I'm not going to overscore Benrahma. I thought when he got into the game, he was fantastic.
I think he played well. I like having him on the pitch. I can't help it.
When he got into the game, he was fantastic. But if you were here for, you arrived late, but me and John were talking about it earlier.
And Eastside agreed.
First half, Eastside agreed. First half,
he played bad.
No. First half, he was getting pelters. The guys behind me were a little bit trigger happy with their criticism, right? He was getting pelters from them, and for some of the second half as well. And then in the second half, about halfway through, he suddenly came to life, and they went the other way behind me, right?
Yeah.
So he had 2 different games yesterday. When he got into the game, we were on the front foot and we were on top. He was amazing. Right, and I'd score him a 9 out of 10 for that, but I'd score him probably a 6 out of 10 for the rest of his effort. So I'm going to average that out and give him, what do you reckon, an 8?
Oh yeah, sure score. I
give him an
8. He got 2 assists yesterday.
He did. But you got to be. I mean, look, just quickly, Nick. Eastside just said it again. What he said earlier. Benrahma 7, frustrating at times, but looked better after we scored the first goal. Lovely assist for the second. Good run. Good pull back to it.
But also what he proved is that sometimes players do need to grow into the game. I think we all accept that.
Of course.
In that first half, we were controlling the game, but we weren't getting. And that wasn't on the players. We weren't getting forward like we were in the second half. I think once the shackles were let off, which they were in that second half, you could see it. He looked excited. There was something about him. He was running with the ball. He was getting to the byline. He was linking up with Paqueta, and it was. I thought it was a really good performance. It was.
It's kind of important, isn't it?
Really good performance.
Yeah.
What did you give him, Gal?
I gave him an 8.
I think an 8's fair enough.
I think that's bearing in mind 2 assists. You've got to give him an 8 for 2 assists, surely.
Look, it's your score.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think 6. I think first half he was a 6. Second half he was an 8. Even it as a 7. But it's your call.
Right,
give him an 8. Go
on. Bowen, a player that I've given absolute pelters to this season for good reason, because I don't think he's been very good. That was, even though he didn't score, I think he was probably our most important player from an attacking perspective yesterday. He was fucking everywhere. His work rate was superb. He was back on point. He was skinning players. His link-up play was good. He was chasing back. He was brilliant. So out of the forward line, even though Danny Ings scored 2, Bowen was great for the whole fucking game. I think he was superb. He's definitely getting a 9. So we'll leave the man in the matches. We'll leave the man in the matches to the chat. He's getting a 9. He was. It's his best performance of the season.
No, I agree with you, and he would be my man in the match.
I tell you what, it's been a long time since Nick gave out 2 9s in one player ratings.
Well,
I tell you what,
you've got to say, I agree with everything Nick just said. That was like old Bowen yesterday, because superb. Even when we were a little bit ropey and not taking our chances and everything in the first half, he was a man on a mission. He was trying to thread Danny Ings in that first half, wasn't he?
Yeah, Freshfield did it. Look, return of the Wasp. He was a pain in the arse. He was.
Yeah. You know, look at this one. Owen was like Thrush. He was an irritating. No swearing on here, Clarkson.
No.
Right, John, you get the fox in the box.
Blessings.
Huh?
No, it's his prop. Look.
Oh, yes.
I ain't done his thing yet. Okay. Go on, Danny Ings.
Look, you know, it was his first start. It was his first goals. He looked a little bit nervous, maybe first half. He had that header that was terrible and things like that, and he wasn't really getting much joy, but he wasn't getting much service either. And this has always been my argument. You can slag off Antonio till the cows come home. A lot of people have said Ings looks a bit, when he's come on for 10, 15 minutes here, there and everywhere. But what service have they at all been getting? You play the ball in front of strikers like Danny Ings. He will make the right runs. He will get bits of his body on it, his kneecap, his shoelace, his nose, whatever. He ain't going to score beautiful goals all day long. But
how good was that first finish, by the way? It was a difficult finish.
Because he was falling behind him.
Yeah,
he was falling behind him. So he had to change his whole body shape whilst running at full speed to get back in the box. Because remember, he played the pass out to Bowen and had to bomb it into the box. But if you play balls in front of someone like Danny Ings, he is notoriously the modern day fox in the box. He will score goals, and we have to stick to that now. He don't want to play with his back to goal. He wants to play facing the goal and charging at balls being played in from the wide positions. I was absolutely overjoyed for his goals. Absolutely loved these celebrations. He loved it. He's got great tattoos. I love the fact.
It needs a few more though. Needs a few more.
I love these post-match interview when he said he's going bald. He doesn't know about haircuts or something.
He's got 5 left. He said he's got 5 haircuts left.
Yeah, because they mentioned Declan Rice's bad haircut, didn't they? And they went to Danny Ings, and he went, "I can't really say anything." He said, "I've only got about 5 haircuts left."
The thing I love about Declan Rice and his haircuts, right? The guy clearly doesn't give a toss about his appearance. Right?
No.
He just doesn't care. He only cares.
But
that
did
football.
it looked like a bowl cut. It looked like his mum had cut it for him, didn't it?
The funny thing was that he said that his old haircut made him look about 35. I didn't understand what he was talking about there, but
he had a massive haircut. He had big hair, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what's happened. He's had a bastard haircut and they've had to cut it off.
Yeah,
I reckon he's had some weird style done, and he's gone, no.
Hey, look, this is a great point.
I can't go out with that.
This is a great point from Dan Ammo, and I believe this. Ings makes his own luck, and he does because he makes the runs.
Yes,
he gets in the right position.
The second goal that only came about because he made that run. He gambled. He ran to the near post.
He ran to the near post.
It was messy. It was bumbled over the line, but he's got to be there. He's got to be there for that to happen.
Mate, people like Gary Lineker made a career out of that.
Gary Lineker on Match of the Day said, he said, absolute, proper striker. And he said, what he said after the game is what he said after every single game. And that was, I should have scored a couple more.
Yeah, he actually should have. He should have had 4.
Yeah. Of course he should have had 4. But it's one game, 2 goals, 1 game.
Can I get some more scoring, please, before you?
Yeah, I wish you fucking would.
Well, you've started talking about haircuts when you've got a haircut like that.
I've not had a haircut.
You need to put some product on that.
I know.
Looks a bit dry and fluffy. I'm going to give Ings a very high 9.
Cool. Yeah, no. Well, look, what more can you ask for from what he did there? Your striker, especially a striker like him, he's on the pitch to score goals, and score goals he did.
He did.
Right, we'll do Gary, Pablo Fornals.
Well, 1 assist. Looked very good for what he was on there. Look, give him a above average 7. I think for the period he was on, he was above average 7.
He come on at a good time because all their tails were up, and he was.
Yeah.
When they came on, the game was won. So they're like, yes, the game's won. Everyone's buzzing.
Yeah.
So it allows them to go on and be a bit freer, doesn't it, without the pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll do Mickey. Mikel Antonio, I'm going to give a 7 as well. I thought it was great to see him attacking the back post. I mean, and that ball from Fornals, he picked him out. That was a precision clip to the back post, and Mickey finished it. And do you know what? I'm so happy for Antonio because. Well, I'm frustrated and happy for him because he must have been looking at Danny Ings in that system that we played, thinking, "Fucking hell! If only I could have if I could have been played. If he could have used me in that way, you know." Danny Ings never looked like he didn't have support today. He either had Suchek up there with him, or he had Benny and Bowen in close proximity of him. They was in and around him. So, and I've heard other channels, you know, they've come out and they've done reviews and they've spoken about the first 3 goals, and then they've come in and they've said, you know, and Antonio, he scored when there was no pressure, when the pressure was off and stuff like that. Completely discounting him. It is absolute bullshit, to be quite honest. Yes, Danny Ings is a better striker. He is, but there's no reason to take the piss out of Antonio. He's done a great job for us.
Antonio's our highest Premier League scorer ever, so you got to have some respect for that.
Yes, you have.
And also, when was the last time we actually hung a cross up like that to anybody?
Exactly. I'll tell you what, the last time that happened was Antonio clipping out to Suchek in the European game, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
Eastside says here, look, Nick, the thing is, Antonio doesn't get into this. Yes, because Eastside, Antonio is told to play with his back to goal and just win free kicks, mate. He's put in that team to be a battering ram, nothing else. So he's And I'm not having a go at Eastside. I'm just saying what I think, you know.
Right, John Lanzini.
I didn't recognise him when he was.
I think he done all right. Some good little passing into play.
He's got highlights, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was popping it about like you'd imagine he would do. I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, it was good. Didn't affect it quite as much as Fornals and Antonio. Right, I'll do Moyes. He did what he had to do. No, he did what he had to do. He saved his skin. He played the right shape. I couldn't pick holes in any of the selections that he made. It was, you know, he completely surprised me. He played a 4-2-3. Well, we've said a 4-3-3. For me, I think it was a 4-2-3-1. It was a bit dynamic. The midfielders were shifting about a bit, but the shape was 4-2-3-1. And he got the subs bang on as well. People might argue about the Cresswell one, but look, we got better when so you can't say that. We was better in the second half.
Got it all right. He got
it all right.
Soufal must have got off injured, no? What tactical, was it?
No. But people will say, why not bring Emerson on? You know, as opposed to Cresswell. So for me, I'll give him a 9 for saving his bacon and giving us a good night. But that doesn't mean it means nothing to me for the long game. For David Moyes to even come close to changing my mind, I want to see that on a regular basis. If he reverts back, then there is something mentally fucking wrong with him, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Nick, can you put your little David Moyes voice on, please? The little thing you've got. Can you play
it? That's what I do.
I'll win.
Can you play it, please?
I think I might have deleted it.
Right now,
here we go.
Before we finish with the player ratings, take the comment off, John, because
no. We want man of the match. Can you ask people in the chat?
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
Right, okay.
I know what I'm going for.
I'm going for
Jared Bowen.
What are people saying?
Okay, hang on, let's have a look. Hang on. So we've got Rice, we've got Ings.
Oh, a split, isn't it?
We've got Paqueta. It's going to be a massive split, mate, I tell you.
Paqueta.
We've got Bowen. We've got them all. We've got Bowen. We've got a Bowen again. We've got a Paqueta. We've got Pac-Man, as in Paqueta. Yeah, it's very split. All the ones we scored with 9s are what people in the chat are sort of splitting it amongst them.
Fucking hell. But how are we going to pick this? Because it looks like there's more for Paqueta.
Listen, I think we should just go us. We go us 3 first. If we can't decide between the 3 of us with a majority, then
my man of the match for yesterday probably would be Paqueta, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Mine would be Bowen.
You want to be Bowen?
It's just going to be completely split. I was going to say Ings.
Fucking hell.
Mark Thomas has gone Sullivan.
What?
Jesus Christ. Hang on. It's hard to pick just one.
Everybody's split. It's completely split.
Oh, fuck. Shall I do a poll?
East side's gone mental. East side's gone Areola. I mean, I don't know what he's coming
right,
from.
I'm gonna do a poll quickly. Hang on, give us a minute.
Right.
This
When you
is
put
too
that
hard-
poll
this is
up,
too hard
right,
to do.
I've got a song from Sean Freshfielder, right, that I need to sing, right? And it's his latest song based on the result yesterday. It's only
what's this?
It's only 4 lines, but I've got a new song.
You got a new song.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. This is beautiful. Hang on,
Right.
lads.
So while you're all voting, bear with me, and I'm gonna. Yeah. Can you stop talking, John? Because I've got to sing.
All right, Elvis.
Right.
You're not singing, are you?
I'm singing. Right.
Oh, fuck
This
off.
is me and Nick have both got SMB 9s, these Shure microphones that Michael Jackson sung Thriller on, right? So you know what I'm saying. There's a sign of the quality you're going to hear now, right?
All the gear and no idea. That's what
all the gear and no
idea.
So this is from Sean Freshfielder. It's to the tune of My Favourite Things by Julie Andrews, Sound of Music, and we love her, taking off a bit of a theme tune.
Hang on, 1 minute. Who was it? So we had Bowen, Rice, Paqueta, and Ings, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, ready? Right, here we go.
There you go.
Sue fell to Souček and Souček to Bowen. On to Paqueta, who sets the ball rolling. Deck picks at Benny, who flies down the wing and puts in a cross for West Ham's Danny Ings. There you go.
It is good, but I don't
imagine
imagine blokes in their 50s singing a Julie Andrews
chorus.
song.
It's missing the chorus because that last thing should be.
It's interesting watching this poll. Hang on.
Yeah.
It's Paqueta. It's Paqueta. Well, you won't be able to see it. It's Paqueta at the moment on 50%.
Hang on a minute.
It's in the chat. If you have a look if you open up the stream, what?
Hang on a minute. You're not letting me see a poll, which means you're going to doctor it. So you're man.
It's there. Open it up on your phone. You'll see it. It's in the chat, in the live chat.
Oh my!
No, I'm getting slaughtered in the chat. It's wrong, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of talent on the show there.
You're fucking shit. So Bob, right? It's Paqueta. It's definitely Paqueta. So you had 8% for Rice, 48% for Paqueta, 31% for Ings, and at the moment 13% for Bowen. So yeah, it's Pac-Man. There we go.
Nice, well done, Mr. Paqueta. Paqueta.
Can I? No, I can't. All right.
Can I what?
There we go. Right, that's that done. Right, I'm going to make... Right, don't phone in, anyone, because reason being, I've got a couple of people have texted me. Black Country Hammer. I'm going to be phoning him next.
Oh, hang on. Subtitles are needed. Yeah. Can't have him on again. All right, Bob. How are you doing there?
Yeah, so we'll open up the lines once we've done these 2 calls.
And also, when we are on calls, people... Don't ring because we haven't got the technology to not have Nick's phone.
Do you know what? I've turned off call waiting as well.
Oh, does that work?
No, it don't. It don't work. So I still get people when people. Yeah, it's annoying.
We wouldn't want to see Nick pissed off with his phone, would we, Nick? Stressing out.
It must annoy other people as well. The fucking constant beeping.
It doesn't annoy me because I like seeing you stressed. I don't know why.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Just not a nice person, John. Right.
I know you're not. That's what makes me laugh.
Here we go. What can you hear, Black Country?
Might hear him, but I won't be able to understand him. I can't hear him though. We're ringing someone in Birmingham, people. So
yes, you can, John.
Oh, hello.
There we are. How we doing, Black Country? You all right?
Yes, you're right.
All good, mate. All good. Can you turn us down in the background, please?
Yeah, mate. Hold on. Jasper Coast here.
All done.
John, have you got your interpreter, mate?
You what, mate?
Have you got your interpreter?
Your intuitor.
Yeah, I don't know. Say it again one more time.
You're into. Say again.
I'm in a good mood.
So, Mr. Black Country,
John, where's your peanuts, son? Where's your peanuts? You got nothing in your mouth,
mate. Listen,
mate. Don't it, mate? He munches constantly, doesn't he?
Listen, I celebrated tonight. I had. Hang on.
Ferrero Rocher.
I had 2 Ferrero Rocher.
You flash bastard.
I know. Don't fuck about him, mate.
You must have got some decent fares earlier, mate, if you're on a Ferrero Rocher.
I don't work Sundays. It's a day of God. Come on, what's he got to say this game?
So Black Country, you went to the game yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. What a cracking game it was in the second half. But the first half, I thought Paqueta was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. He was.
He was really, really outstanding. And just before he got injured, he was like in this triangle. And he did these 1-2 touches. And then what I like about this geezer is that he's typical Brazilian, and he's got that 1% or that where he knows where to play the ball before the other players can get there, you know?
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed his football yesterday. I really enjoyed his football. And it was a cracking game. Even though Notts Forest was very, very, very poor. And I shouldn't say Notts Forest, but it was shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that offends them, doesn't it? Notts Forest offends them, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, because you got Notts County and then you got Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
So who gives a shit? But that was very poor. Very, very poor, to be honest.
Yeah.
But in the second half, cracking game. And cracking atmosphere after outside by the Heineken discos.
Tommy Shelby is a hammer.
Say again.
Someone said Thomas Shelby is a hammer.
That's your new name, Black Country. You have to change it.
All right then. I've been called worse. I've been called worse, you know. And John's just, I'm watching the screen now, and John's just sitting there, look, he ain't got a clue what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm not the only one if you look at Toby Adams.
I'll come from Planet Zong, mate, you know what I mean? John, put some nuts in your mouth. Put some nuts in your mouth, son.
Oh, you know? No, that's Thursday nights, that, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it's Hampstead Heath on a Sunday night. That's another story.
No, but it was a cracking game yesterday. Second half, I thought the first half we dominated, but the final third I thought was a bit poor. I think we had about 6-7 corners or something like that. Yeah. But I was really impressed with the Paqueta.
I was still a little bit worried at half time, if I'm honest. I was still a little bit like, we're not. Yeah. You know, we had a lot of possession, but there was nothing, was there? And I'm still thinking, here we go, another day. I think did we hit the post? Did we hit the post as well?
Yeah, Bowen did. That was a 0-0.
Yeah. But when he, I mean, because that hit the inside of the post and came out, and I was like, it's going to be one of them days. You know, it's going to be one of them days.
Yeah. But, do you know what annoyed me? The only thing that annoyed me from yesterday was our set pieces again, the corners, because. Yeah. You know, Navas ain't the tallest, and the way he kept on getting a punch on those crosses, I don't understand why we don't set Souček further back so he can make surging runs in. We was parking him up against their centre backs, almost at the near post. I don't quite get that.
Where's the man standing on the keeper like we used to do? Like Antonio.
Normally Antonio.
Right? Yeah.
I can't understand why Rice is taking the corners, to be honest. You know, you got Bowen on there. He can put a ball in. Okay, sometimes it's not. Class.
Was you happy to see?
Why put Rice?
Yeah. Was you happy to see Jesse Lingard get a lovely reception yesterday, which I thought was fitting, right? Because he just got.
Tell you what, mate. I think as you know, Cornet's gone AWOL. Has he gone AWOL? Yeah. Has he gone down to KFC? Well,
he's back now. Apparently. He's back now. Apparently,
he's got some chicken on him, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he got some right chicken on him yesterday, but I see of him. You know what I mean?
He definitely looks like he's putting a bit of weight.
Uninterested.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of weight. Yeah. Fucking hell. You know, what's he been drinking 10 pints of Guinness every night or something like that? And he looked disinterested anyway. And when he come on, the fans getting so much steak, and I thought, serves you right, kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I thought that helped. I thought that helped with the atmosphere when he came on. I thought that helped with the atmosphere. You know, like it used to when you used to get a Lampard or an Ince or someone like that. He always helps bring together the home fans. You know.
Yeah.
And it was good to see him come on. There was no singing. There was no singing nasty songs. Just booing, which is a bit sinister, which I like.
Well, that's what he deserves. In my eyes, that's what he deserves.
Look,
when he come on, to be fair, he looked disinterested anyway.
He did, yeah.
He didn't look up forwards anyway, did he? You know, and that's why I said, you know, but was he done the KFC for the last few months or whatever?
Have you seen what John said on the screen? Look, he's put a banner up for you. Sorry, no idea who is on the line. I can't understand him.
Well,
tell him I'm Jasper Carrot. Tell him I'm Jasper Carrot, and I'm. I've got a mouthful of peanuts. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. Dan Hammer can answer you, John. It's the Peaky fucking Blinders. That's what it is.
There you go, see?
No. Don't call me a fucking brummie.
I'm spending 3 days in Aston on the 15th of March. So is that anywhere near you? Or you nowhere near that, Aston?
Aston?
As in Aston Villa, right near Aston Villa's ground. Are you anywhere near that? You're not, are you?
That's Birmingham, isn't it?
No, I'm down Worcester, mate. But I know where it is. It's a right shithole.
The Midlands is bigger than Birmingham, John.
Oh, it's all the same gaff, isn't it? They make it as they go along.
No, not a brummie. Aston's a brummie. I'm not a brummie, son. What you do, John? What you doing in Aston?
Going to see my missus. My missus' family originally from there, and she's still got some elderly relatives up there. So we're. I might bring you as an interpreter. What do you reckon?
It's clean now, son. You know what I mean?
So Black Country anyway. So you're obviously as everyone who was Moyes out before. Anyone who's got half a brain will still be feeling the same way. However, we are in a situation now where there's 14 games left. If it looks like he's going to get enough points to get us through to the summer and keep us in the league, then may as well wait until the summer rather than fucking. Because the thing is now, if they sack him now, go out and get a desperation manager now, that will probably become our manager for next year. So
exactly.
if we can get him to ride the rest of this season out and keep us up, then that probably now at this point, providing he can do the job, is the best option. What do you think on that, or would you still just sack him? Get rid of him. Throw him in the canal.
I wouldn't. The canal, yeah. I wouldn't sack him now because what's the point? Who could we get in? You know, you got Rafa Benitez.
Yeah.
The performance on him yesterday, okay, good performance. I'm going to say this. I might piss some West Ham fans off, but I'm not bothered about the cups now because.
Never mind.
You know, our bread and butter now is with the Premier League now, to me.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested what he's going to do at Brighton.
Yeah,
now, if he's going to set up like he did at Spurs, at Brighton, what's the point?
I would agree with you, mate. I would agree with you, but I think there is enough because we've got no injuries now. We've got no injuries. Everyone's back from injury. I mean, I know Soufal took a knock and whatever, and Fabian's got a little eye problem, whatever, but we've got no injuries. We've got a fully fit squad. We're out of the League Cup. We've only got the FA Cup and the Conference League. I'm going to Man United Wednesday. It's very likely we'll be knocked out. They've just won the League Cup. It's very likely we'll be knocked out of the FA Cup on Wednesday night by Man U, which will leave us probably with the Premier League and the Conference League. Now, to me, I say we've got enough quality if we play in the right way to go after staying up, which we should do pretty easily if we play well and go back games the right way. To do that and to win the Conference League.
I can understand what you're saying, Gary, but at the end of the day, we all know what Moyes is like. So
no, I know. He could revert to type at any point.
The thing for me, mate, is the test for me is next weekend for Brighton because that's going to be a tough game. We never beat him, do we? And I'll be really more interested in to see what his setup is at Brighton. Yeah. I'm not bothered about any cups now because how I'm thinking and my mindset is that our bread and butter now is the Premier League. We earn a lot more money, obviously, from the Premier League, from all the cup games. I know we all want to win a cup because we haven't won it for how many years. Go back in history. But the bread and butter for me is keeping the Premier League. So what I want to see now is his mindset his setup when we go to Brighton, because we all know it's going to be a tough game. So is he going to set up like he did at Spurs? Because I thought that was disgusting. You're playing 8 players behind the ball. So you're never going to win that game, obviously. You know what I mean? I know it was a good result yesterday. I was there yesterday, and it was cracking. The second half, the atmosphere was brilliant. The first half wasn't, because everybody was nervous. You could tell and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I went for a beer afterwards, and everybody's happy and all that. And everybody wants to be happy, good performance, good result, and all that. But what I want to see when we go to Brighton, and that's what I want to see. I want to see how he sets up. But my mind hasn't changed with Moyes at all. It will never ever change now. You know what I mean?
It won't for me either. Even if
he can get us through the summer, well, to the end of the season, we survive in this Premier League, I'll be happy, and then get rid of it.
Because then, you could look at the weekend one of two ways. You could look at it as one of joy that we just won 4-0 and we've managed to play in an attacking way, or you could go, that fucking bastard. We could have been doing this for the last 6 months. You could have think, why has he been setting this up the way he's been setting this up? Why has he been doing it?
Exactly.
I said to Gary off there.
That's a valid point. That's a very good point. A valid point is why has he been setting this up this way?
And that's what I said to Gary before we came live. I said to him, in a way, it could possibly. It gives you more questions than answers.
It does.
Because the questions are, why? What if he did it earlier?
It invalidates all the excuses he's been making prior.
Yeah.
It does,
Listen, Black Country, you've now been christened Ozzy Osbourne and somebody, and Lewis in the chat has come up with Black Sabbath Country, which I think is funny.
That's before you go,
I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah.
Before you go,
one of the heroes. He's one of my heroes, actually. So
he's quality bloke.
Before you go, there's about 3 or 4 people
in
the chat. They want you to shout out "It's Christmas" before you leave. Can you do that?
Don't listen to him. Black Country. He's a knobhead.
Say that again, John. Say that again.
Fucking
say again, mate. Sorry.
I said before you leave.
Come on.
Before you leave the call, are you able to shout out "It's Christmas" and then before you go?
Not the older. Oh, okay. That's cool. It's Christmas.
Hey, good man.
I love the banter. Good
man. Right, well, Black Country, thanks very much for joining, mate. I'm gonna make another call and then we're gonna open up the phone lines.
Okay, guys. All right.
You're a top man.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
He's a good sport, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Woof.
Made some good points there.
I've got to try and find the number. Oh, fuck me. Where's that gone?
Who are we ringing up now?
This is Alex from Essex/Bournemouth. He's been on a couple of times. Going to give him a call back now.
He's got a big house, hasn't he?
Yeah. Can you hear him? Can you hear it ringing?
No, Nick, it's just ringing.
All right, mate.
Hello, Alex. You all right?
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. What would you like to talk about today?
Oh, I was at the match yesterday.
Good.
And I suppose the first thing, obviously, it was good. Last lot given penalties to Lingard and that.
Yeah.
But sort of as a bit of a stem off of what Gonzo was saying about how when Fabianski was injured and no one really went to go and sort of confront anyone, Aguerd gave a bit of it.
Yeah.
Similarly, I wasn't really impressed with. I was probably in a similar sort of place to you guys. I was right by where the all the subs were warming up and that. I wasn't really impressed with people like Fornals and Antonio, having a chat with him and having a hug with him and stuff like that. I know that they're sort of their mates and you've got to be professional, but I like the pettiness in football. I do
too. I do. I think. Do you not think the cuddles could be in the tunnel maybe after the game? You know, or before, away from the cameras.
If you see the behind the scenes videos that they put on YouTube after, they were doing that, and that's sort of fine. But yeah, like I said, in front of us, like, it sort of undermines when we're all shouting out, Lingard, what's the time?
Yeah.
And then they're giving him a cuddle. It's like...
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I do. I love the pettiness in football. Yeah, in football, it's what it's all about. You know.
I do like to think someone, if someone like Soufal, for example, was still on the pitch, I love to think he's the sort of person that would have just given him an absolutely crunching tackle just to sort of try and resonate how the fans feel. Yeah. I mean, if Dawson was here, God knows what he would have done.
He needed that. He needed someone to go straight through the back of him, didn't he? You know.
Yeah, he did.
You know, the fans would have erupted, wouldn't they? Could you imagine?
Do you remember when we lost to Spurs and Declan Rice was cuddling Harry Kane in the centre?
I did not like that. I'll
make you exactly right, Alex, because they're the sort of games where us as fans, we go along, and when we're leaving, when we've lost, we're totally pissed off, right? And the last thing you want is for them to be patting each other on the head and having a lovely kiss and a cuddle in the centre circle. No, fuck off. Don't like it. I agree with you.
I think there's a part, I mean, all of us, you guys as well, when you were younger, we all play football, and we all sort of have that dream in our heads that we would get the call up for West Ham. I think we all think of ourselves, if we were players, we'd love to find someone on the pitch who's done our club wrong and just hurt them and get that roar going on in the crowd. I think,
like Rocky.
I think there wasn't like a proper.
Like Rocky, John was once a contender. He considers himself as a contender for West Ham once, weren't you, John?
No, not West Ham.
John was even
more like
listen. John was even considered a cart horse over Hackney Marshes.
Well, you carried. What you did. Hang on a minute. All you did was turn up with the oranges, mate. You gave out the oranges at the half time. So what are you on about?
Honestly. Hoof.
Sorry, Alex, go on, carry on.
Boop, boop. Sorry, that's just John turning around to chase a striker.
At least I was picked to chase someone.
Turning circle of an Arctic fucking lorry. He's got go on. Right, go on.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Sorry. You started something now, Alex.
Alex.
This happens every time.
I know.
Alex.
What do you want, John?
How are you? Why are you from Essex and Bournemouth, mate? What's going on?
Well, I'm from Essex. I'm living in Bournemouth at the moment.
Oh, there you go.
In the past, it was just Alex from Essex. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a long nickname now, Essex and Bournemouth, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you must be. Are you living in Sandbanks? Is that where you live?
I fucking wish I was living in Sandbanks. No, I'm not.
So do I, because you could sponsor our show.
I'd give you a donation.
That's where we had your stag night, wasn't it, John?
We did.
In Bournemouth.
Sandbanks.
You only came out for one night of the free, didn't you, Nick? You was fucked.
Listen, that weren't one night. That was 36 hours.
Hey, look, you've created a whole load of bollocks now. Look, was John in the John Smith's advert? I'm going to ban this geezer. I'm banning him. He's coming out. Like that. Absolute disrespect. I'm the only one of us three here that has won the league and a cup over Hackney Marshes. I'm going to tell you that now, Alex. That's between us three, all right? Don't worry about it, mate.
In the dog and duck derby for.
I'm going to go and find my trophy there.
No, you were top draw, John. As I said,
he was a sock draw. Sock draw. Right, go on, Alex. Anyway, so what? So overall, this season, can you see us avoiding relegation? Do you think? Did you see enough yesterday? Even though it was just Nottingham Forest and they weren't very good, we did put on a good performance. Can you see us taking that forward? When if you watched our show, the Boozecast, we had that fucking perilous section where we went through each and every one of the fixtures that are coming up. It's scary as fuck. It really is.
Yeah,
Do you think we're going to have enough? Do you think we're going to be okay?
I think we undoubtedly have enough. It's whether he will do it. I think if he has that sort of mentality for every match, we'll easily pick up enough wins to stay. But I just, this thing in me where I just imagine him going back to sitting back against, he'll probably do it against Brighton out of fear. But if he doesn't, he'll certainly do it at like the City game And then I feel like as we go back towards like the Southamptons and the Villas, he'll just retain that defensive setup and he'll sort of forget what he's done yesterday. If you get what I mean.
One good sign, though. One good sign is that we predicted 15 games, and all three of us got the first one wrong.
Yes, yeah.
Which is not a good sign.
Well, we all predicted a
bad.
draw. We all predicted a draw. No one predicted a loss on the predictor. We didn't. It was
and we all predicted it. We all predicted it on him not changing anything because we didn't think he would because he's so stubborn this year.
No.
So my total, Alex, was 7 points from the remaining 15 games. So now with that win, it's 9 points. So we'll be on 29 points.
Oh, whoopee!
Come the end of it. But no, look. If we play like that, but I do mean what I said in that post-match review. I think if we play like that, we'll win enough games. Yes, we'll lose a couple. We will. You know, you of course you will. But let's just enjoy the rest of the season. The league season's shot. You know, we're not going for top 6. Let's just go for it. Why not? You know.
I'll tell you what sort of I didn't really realise until I looked at the table like late last night. Is actually because of what we've just done to Forest. There's 8 of us now in this battle. We've dragged them. I think they thought they were getting out of it, and now there's a lot of us in it. And to be fair, I was looking at I did a similar sort of thing to you guys where you did it that one week where you can sort of simulate the table as the weeks go by, and you sort of predict all the scores and that. And to be fair, there's a lot of games where they have to play like so all of people like the people like Leeds and Bournemouth and Everton, they still got loads of fixtures against like the Man Cities, the Chelseas, the Tottenhams, and as much as you can only worry about yourself, there is a lot of tough like fixtures and competition for them as well. And I think if we play like we did yesterday against the Bournemouths and the Southamptons we've got to play again, I think we could batter them if we set up the same way.
We'll beat them. But yeah, you're right. I'm just looking at the table now, and if you look at it 12th downwards, Palace are on 27 points. They're 6 points above Everton, who are in 18th place.
Yeah.
So
I was looking at it. And then it was like Palace were on whatever points, and then it was like Leicester were like 1 point behind them, and the Wolves were like just 2 behind them, and it was like really fine margins all the way down to 20th. So yeah, it's still very open this fight.
Did you see sort of changing direction slightly? I did watch Match of the Day for the first time in a long time yesterday.
Me, yeah.
No, I still and, watching it.
And I must admit, Everton were, because they lost, but they were unlucky, weren't they?
Very unlucky.
They were unlucky. Yeah. My God. So I do think that Everton, by the looks of it, I think they're going to have enough to get out of it. They are. But then teams will look at us, what we did yesterday. They'll think the same thing. Southampton look to be doomed, don't they? Do you not think?
Yeah, I think Bournemouth and Southampton. I really do.
Yeah, they look to be doomed.
And after seeing Forest,
I hope they go down.
Forest. The problem is with Forest is their home form. Their home form's pretty good.
Brilliant. Their home have unbeaten at home.
Yeah. So
home form is going to keep them up, I think.
Well, they need someone to beat them at home and then break that record, you know.
I'd say here's another one, Alex. Who would you like to see relegated? So let's say Southampton and Bournemouth are gone. We'll each of you can have a pick. Go on. Out Everton. Of Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, Wolves, Leeds, and Everton. Who would you like to see go?
Everton.
Palace.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex.
I was going to say, can I say Bournemouth because that's a nice little local, easy travel game for me. I'd love to throw Nottingham Forest in it. I think it'd be fucking hilarious after.
I was going to say Nottingham Forest. That's what I was going to say.
I thought it sold 25 players.
Yeah.
I'd fucking love it.
It's like
I'd want Palace.
Mate, one of the managers where I work is a Nottingham Forest fan. You won't shut up.
Yeah, Palace would be sweet as well for them fucking ultras.
Can you imagine Palace going down, all their ultras dancing around wearing black against Rotherham or someone? You know what I mean? Go on, piss off.
Well, they can do it against Millwall, can't they? That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd go down well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, Nigel.
Well, funny. A lot of people saying Everton, and I don't really have I sort of like Everton because I think they're a lot.
I don't mind them. I don't mind them.
I don't have a problem with Everton. What I'd say is it'd be nice to get them to have a taste of relegation because all these years where they've nearly got relegated, it'd be nice to see them get relegated. Just taste it. We've tasted it many times, right? Nothing personal against Everton. For Forest, it would be funny because of all those players they've signed. But having said that, I think the ghost of Lingard. After going to that game, that home game, or the away game at Forest earlier in the season, it's like the ghost of Cloughie is guarding their goal, and that was what we were seeing at Man City last week, who should have beaten them 4-0, and ended up drawing 1-1, right? And that was similar to our game, right? The ball just wouldn't fucking go in.
I think though, what I'd say, Alex said it'd be great for them to go down because Jesse Lingard, but what you got to remember is Lingard only signed a 1-year deal. He don't give
won't be there. He won't. They ain't giving him another one, are they? They ain't giving him another one. He'd be in the Middle East in the summer, wouldn't he?
I reckon
I'd quite like it on his record. I'd quite like a relegation on his record.
You know what, Alex? Yeah. I think he's one of them blokes, mate. I don't think he gives a monkeys, mate. I don't think he cares. I mean, he's gone there and he's been crap, and he was their big name. Yeah. He's done nothing at all. Don't even get on the pitch half the time and makes little cameo roles, you know, and all that big transfer saga with him and his brother.
We fucking made him, right? He was nothing before he come to us. I know he was an unused Man United substitute and everything else. We put him back into the spotlight, right? We got him into the England side, right? Yes, he did well for us and everything else, but we gave him the platform to do that, and then he turned around and told us to piss off. So he deserves everything he gets.
He does.
Right? Yeah,
he does. But anyway, Alex, just to close the call, mate, so we can move on to the next one. Have you got anything? One last thing that you'd like to chat about?
Well, there's one which was the David Moyes surprise. Obviously, he came out in the press conference and said, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I've got something planned, but I'm not telling you."
Yeah.
What do you think that was? Because
Danny Ings.
Because he. Well, is it that was it also Paqueta? Because what I noticed was Paqueta presumably was in training, and as someone I follow the Instagram account, I follow the Twitter account and the YouTube, and they always post videos of training, and they do a compilation. Oh look, there's a picture of Skamaka, and here's one of Egg Word, and they do it of everyone. And there was no Paqueta all week. So do you reckon he was trying to sort of blindside them a bit and have them think it was going to be like another?
Maybe.
I think so. I think so, and I do believe that Paqueta is now very important to us.
Yeah,
I think he is in that central midfield. Somebody made a good point on our Facebook group actually. Not that Souček did anything wrong, but if you look at it like a 4-2-3-1, so if you look at it like it's Rice and Paqueta as a 2, in that 10 or that supporting striker role that Souček was playing, do you know who would go lovely in there, didn't you? Skamaka. Skamaka, he really fucking would because he can link play. He can pass.
I'm sorry. What are you talking about? You're talking about into the Souček role.
Into the Souček role.
Yes,
deeper.
Yes. I thought that, but yesterday, yeah.
Deeper than Ings. I think that could work.
It would be fantastic.
An absolute dream.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest.
That's quite. Yeah, because he's got good touch, brings it down well, plays it through. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you're quite a tactician, mate.
Well, I am, mate.
Although, for God's sake!
Although I've had a nightmare today. I managed my son's team. Right, we're unbeaten for 18 months, and that came to an end today. We lost 5-3.
We said that. Me and Gary said.
Yeah, we were speculating. We thought you might have lost.
Why you've had a bad day, and it was because you lost. Well, you can't win them all.
A couple of. I know.
How'd that happen then? How'd you lose? How'd you lose then? What happened?
A couple of defensive lapses, and we just didn't really turn up. To be honest, I can't complain. I can't even blame the referee or the linesman today. We just you know.
Are you still up for East Hart's manager of the season? Or
undoubtedly, yeah. I'll get that done myself.
Oh dear! Look, the fans are turning.
Fans have turned.
Yeah, don't think so. Somehow, I'm kind of a big deal at Cuffley FC, just so you know.
You're kind of big. At
Cuffley
FC. Fucking hell! Kind of a big.
That is weak, Vic.
Nick's lost the dressing room.
Oh, well, do you know what? The funny thing is, we've gone out, with because January transfer window, isn't it? We had a player leave, so there was a space available. So we've trialed. We only wanted one player, but two fucking amazing players. I told you that two amazing players turned up for trials, and we've had to take them on. But now I've got because I'm a bit like David Moyes in that sense. I like a small squad because they're kids, and I don't like a situation when my bench is too big. But now I've got a situation where I've got a squad of 17.
Yeah, but it's 11 aside, isn't it?
I know, but that's a lot. That's a lot of players, John.
So
it's a lot of players.
5-3, Nick. You need to tighten up at the back. I think you need to go 5 at the back with 3 central defensive midfielders.
Well, hang on a minute. The hypocrisy of him moaning about
these are kids.
Liking the small squad.
These are kids.
I don't care. They're still playing fucking football.
They're 14 years old, and I've got
basically the Moyes of East Hearts. You are the Moyes of East Hearts.
They're 14. I've got a little Billy coming up to me, pulling me arm, going, "You're going to bring me on in this game?" And it's not the same, is it?
You don't put them on unless you need them on. Christ almighty. You need to go. Mate. Yeah. Look. No. You're actually starting to sound like
I would be a ruthless fucker with grown men, but I can't be with kids because I like kids. All right, I'm a nice manager. I'm a good manager. Gary, see me not like that, John. You weird fuck.
Oh, sorry.
All coming out tonight.
Yeah.
Nicky Savile's on the fucking
Nicky Savile. But no, I can't be horrible to kids. I can't be. And it's important. Look, it is important that they do get game time. I mean, look, it's under 14s. They ain't babies, are they? We had one player that's just left. He was 6'1", so we've lost Billy.
That's a big kid, isn't it? That's a big kid.
Little Billy.
Little Billy. Yeah, we lost little Billy.
It's ironic, John. It's ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway. But Alex, thank you for your call, mate.
Cheers, Alex.
That's nice one, mate. Cheers for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you later.
Enjoy Sandbanks.
Yeah, take care, lads.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, bye. Right, I'm going to call Gary from Romford.
Oh, Gary from Wall.
And then I will open up the phone lines.
Wall Street, isn't he? He's a Wolf of Wall Street now, isn't he?
Who's that?
Gary from Romford.
Yeah. How did you know how did you anticipate that I'd lost the game? I know he's phoned in.
Because you said you've had a bastard Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was it.
You usually tell us your results, and you didn't.
I know.
Hello.
I know. Hello, Gary.
Hey.
Hello, Nick. How are you? Hey, Gary.
I'm scathing. I'm miserable. I'm miserable. West Ham win, and then my team go and lose on a Sunday.
What's happened to this 10-minute limit on the phone calls? That was a half hour.
That's only for you, Gary. The 10-minute limit.
One more thing. I want to see one more thing.
I'm only joking.
Oh, dear.
Right, but anyway, Gary, come on, talk to me. Talk to me.
Well, great result yesterday. Couple of points. First of all, what point John made earlier, I totally agree with him about the playing the back four. I've been saying for months, I don't like the wing back system. I think you've got to have the right personnel to play it, and we haven't got the wing back to do it. With Chelsea, you've got Reece James and Chilwell, you can do it, but we haven't got that. And I can't think of the last year with that system how many games we ever won with it. I mean, you just don't win. But the back four, I've said that also for months that Johnson is the best left back we can play at the club at the moment. He's better than Creswell. He's better than Emerson. And I think when Zuma's fit, with him and Aguirre, Creswell, Johnson and Corfal, I think it's 4-3-3 yesterday, or 4-2-3-1 with Souček, Rice and Paqueta. It's just the three forwards. I mean, people raving about Ings, and don't get me wrong, he's games won us the game. He goals won us the game. But up until that point, I was sitting with a mate watching it, and he did very little for me up until that point. And I was saying, get him off and get Antonio on, and suddenly he won 2 goals. Well, what do I know?
I think you've got to always think, though, haven't you, Gary? You've got to always think with a striker, a good striker.
Yeah,
even the very best strikers, even like the Shearers of this world and the Linekers of this world and people like that, they are, and Harry Kane as well, right? They'll do they can typically do fuck all for a whole game, and then they'll score a goal or two at the end.
Yeah,
because that's what they're good at. Yeah. Well, that's what they're good at. Their brain works at a very high speed in that couple of seconds they've got to turn a fucking half chance into a goal. That's where they're optimal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I agree with you also. Antonio's had very little service the last few months. People get on his back. But I was so pleased when he got that fourth goal. He rose like a salmon, didn't he, at the far post? Yeah. He came 4 goals there, Antonio. But what services has he been getting? He's been feeding on scraps, really, up against 2 or 3 defenders most of the time.
Yeah, and also the thing is like Nick said earlier, it was a whole total sort of formation and tactical switch. You know, Antonio may well have scored them goals that Ings got. Probably not, because he ain't the clinical and natural striker. But any striker wants to be running towards goal, wants to be facing goal. They don't want to play with their back to goal.
It was a complete tactical shift, and that's more than just shape. Shape means nothing. It was instructions. For instance, we were pressing, we were hunting the ball down when we was out of possession. We were doing that. We haven't been doing that all year. It's all about staying rigid, keep your positions, keep your shape, make yourselves hard to play through. We weren't doing that. We was going to the ball. We was being progressive. And it was fucking brilliant to see. And like I say, look, it weren't a mind-blowing performance up until the last 65 minutes, but we got progressive. We dominated, but we didn't fade. We got progressively better, and we kept on going until the goals came. You can't really knock it. You can't knock it.
How many saves did Fabianski have to make in the whole? I mean, I know people saying. I mean, I got a bit annoyed with, not annoyed West Ham fans, but 1 or 2 yesterday were saying, you know, I thought, for God's sake, enjoy it. You know, with 1-4-0, and you say only Forest, but they've lost 1 game in 7. They won the form teams. You know, and it's only their own form, really. It's keeping them out of trouble. If their own form starts to slip, I think they could still go down, you know. But I tell you what, Nick, you made a very good point earlier about Scamacca. I was listening on the radio today about Tottenham, about Harry Kane. I think Scamacca and Harry Kane remind me very similar.
Yeah, well, I've nicked that off of someone else. I can't remember who said it on Facebook, but somebody suggested it. And when you think about it, and it's not me digging out Souček because he played well, but you think, fuck me,
no, he played well.
But Scamacca's custom made for that.
Yeah, I mean, also they were saying about the Tottenham field. I don't want to go about Tottenham, obviously, it's a West Ham show, but they were saying that Kane could play that 10 and Rich Carlison could play up front, and it's the same for us.
Yeah,
we could do Ings as a striker and Scamacca behind.
I just hope he sticks to it. I hope he sticks to the back 4 now. That's what I want to see. You know.
Would you like to see a front 3 of maybe Bowen on one side, Antonio on the left sometimes, and maybe Ings down the middle? How would you feel about that?
Say it again, mate.
Maybe on Wednesday. Would you like to see a front 3 of Bowen on the right, Antonio on the left, and Ings through the middle?
I don't think you'll see. I don't think we'll be playing Ings on Wednesday. I think he'll get a rest. I think we'll be playing Scamacca on Wednesday. I think Scamacca will be back in the team.
I don't know, Gary. There's a rumor he was on the bench. It was just he was a prop on the bench. Apparently, he's going in for surgery. That's what I've read. I don't know if it's true.
Really?
Apparently, so that's what I've read. So I don't know how true it is, but yeah, we shall see. I hope not. I hope not.
It's that time of night, right? We did it before. I'm the West Ham manager. You three of my backroom staff.
Yeah.
So when everyone's fit now, I mean fit, like match fit, not just back in training.
Yeah.
Yeah. People call him for Scamacca at the start, which is ridiculous. He's only had a week's training. He's been out for months.
Yeah. Obviously, Gary, just to pause you there because this is hypothetical. I mean, I'm the only one with the badges that can be a manager. So,
we could be number 2, Nick.
Right. Okay.
I was going to say to you very quickly. If we all agree, Harry Owen's in goal, Tafal, Johnson, Zuma, and Gerd, who'd be your first choice? The rest of the team? Would you go with Rice, Paqueta, and Souček? Or would you go with Rice, Paqueta, and Fornals?
In the middle?
In a 4-3-3 system, which I think suits West Ham.
Yeah, in a 4-3-3 in the middle. Well, look. I think the most important ones are Rice and Paqueta. If you've got Paqueta in there, then you've got a forward-thinking player anyway. Depending on the opposition, if you're playing against better opposition, then you could afford to have two more industrious players in there. But I would like to see personally, if it was me, if I had my way, and Scamacca's not available, I would like to see Fornals in the middle with Paqueta and Rice. I would, you know. Can I just
interject just a second, right? Danny Ings, to clarify, is cup tied. He played as the centre forward in the 2-1 home defeat to Stevenage for Aston Villa.
So Antonio will be up front on Wednesday, I reckon. Then
he probably will be. Yeah.
I'm sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and also now we've got loads of options on the left-hand side. You've got Benny, you've got Cornet coming back, you've got Ben, you've got Antonio. So suddenly we're getting options in the side, and we can. Like the guy said earlier, Black Country was saying about throw the cup competitions. I agree with Gary. Really, I think we've got enough in the squad to go for the conference and stay up. To be truthful with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
We have. He's right. We have. If everyone's listen, we're not getting carried away.
Oh, come on. I don't know.
I think we've got to go for the conference as well. I mean, look, you've got two full teams you can put out virtually. You've got this last 16 game against this Cyprus. We should get through that, and then we're through to the quarterfinals. If we get knocked out the FA Cup on Wednesday, surely I can. You've got enough in that squad to play Thursday and Sunday. Bearing in mind the opposition in that competition, see if you get to the semi-finals, you might get a really good side. But up until then, I think you might have a good run at it.
Gary, why has ADL Media been blocked?
Huh?
Why is ADL Media? That's Andy from 6'2".
That's Andy.
I've had to unblock Ipdex because you blocked him earlier. You put your fucking glasses on if you're going to block people.
Oh, sorry, I blocked the wrong person.
Jesus Christ!
Sorry,
Put
I'm
your
going to have
Elvis
to go through it
juice
again
away.
now.
Put your Elvis juice away, for fuck's sake. He's called you mate.
Fucking hell!
Sorry, I need glasses.
How'd you unblock him then?
Sorry,
I have to go into studio. I'm watching him as he does it. I've got to be careful.
Oh, go on. Anyway, sorry, Gary, go on.
What would you do, Gary?
No, it's fine. What with the cup competitions, John?
No. What would be your 3-3? You've done this. You've done the back four.
Did you know Dodsy's blocked? Dodsy's blocked.
Is he?
Dodsy's blocked.
Dodsy's blocked as well. I don't know.
Must be you.
Must be you. You said too many foreigners. I think you said something about that.
Is he a racist against the Cornish? That's what it is.
No, right, okay. Fuck's sake. Right, go on. Sorry.
Yeah,
Gary.
no, I don't know really. I mean, you've got so many options now, and everyone's fit. I mean, you've got Skamaka, Ings, and Tony. You've got 3 strikers. You've got wide players there. You've got 3 or 4 or 5 wide players.
Yeah.
It's the midfield bit. I'm not sure about. The last 2 games, I think Suchek's been quite good actually. I think he's probably our best player at Tottenham. And I think with him 3, I think he's quite strong, But I do like Fornals, and I just feel like Fornals could be good in a number 10 role.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd like to see that. I don't think we're going to, though. I think that's going to be one bridge too far. I think that to expect David Moyes to go what he will see as even more progressive against the likes of Brighton is never going to happen. I can't see it. Unfortunately for Fornals, because, and it is unfortunate for Fornals, whether or not I would go for Fornals, even though Fornals isn't a great left winger, against Brighton, I don't know. I think Fornals has got a better delivery. I think he proved that the other day than Benny, even though Benny got 2 assists. I think maybe Benny, against Brighton, maybe use Benny as more of an impact player, bring him on as a sub, and against Brighton, play Fornals out on the left. It's not ideal. But
I think also, Nick, one more thing. I think also, I think our own form might be what keeps us up in the end, because you look at the last 3 games now, we've beaten Everton, beaten Forest, through with Chelsea, we've taken 7 points out of 9 at home. And our own form, you've got the Southampton, Leeds and Villa to come. I think that could be the salvation, our own form,
Yeah, that's a good
take
point.
the pressure off us away from home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it could be. But so do you think we're going to have enough then, Gary, by the sound of it, to stay up? Yeah.
Well, I watched your show the other week.
We have got enough. We have got enough.
We have.
Yeah.
You 3 were so negative the other week with that point. I couldn't believe you didn't ask me on for that one. I've been moaning about that place, do that for months.
Mate, that was a booze cast, and that was a question. We asked people to throw in questions.
I know.
But
Nick, I must 39 points.
I must admit, I wouldn't want to make a whole show out of it. But yeah, the little 10 minutes, the 10-minute thing was good. The
thing is, Gary, the thing is with that, right, is we predicted 15 games, and all 3 of us got the first one wrong.
Exactly.
I had a home win for Forest. I don't win.
Yeah, I know you did. I know. Yeah, but Gary, on the Newcastle and Spurs ones, you got them wrong.
Yeah, true. But I've got the Newcastle and Chelsea ones.
You got them wrong. So but Gary's point is.
Game of the season. Jesus, got it right.
But Gary's point is, I think it's good to have a look at it in terms of the games that are winnable. When you look at it. West Ham don't typically, under David Moyes, we don't go out and win games that we're predictable. We're predictable, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's gonna be very unpredictable towards the end of the season, especially the last 5 or so games. You're going to have. We play Leicester last game of the season. If they're safe and they're nowhere near the top 6, they're going to be on the beach. They're not going to give a shit.
Exactly. When you sent me the text with the games, I got us down. I saw your all your points total.
Yeah.
But I got us down for 39 points minimum. Because I think we'll beat Leeds, Southampton, Villa. I can see now we've got this win yesterday. I think it'll be a massive to the confidence. You can see yesterday the shackles just came off yesterday. It was just like it was brilliant. Really, I really enjoyed that.
The thing is now, look, and I'm not getting carried away, but after that performance and seeing that Moyes can change it up and hoping that going forward he continues, my predictions may change. But my predictions were made on the back of the same old.
What we've been seeing.
You know
what we've been seeing. Yeah. So let me ask you, you three now. I'll ask you, Gary. Right? If Moyes, Gowie.
Oh, Gowie.
If we see Moyes revert back to negative tactics against Brighton, what are your thoughts going to be then?
For fuck's sake.
Is that me, Nick? Or
Gowie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we've got this Man United game in between, haven't we? Which we could done without that in a way. It's a shame that what John was saying about. It's a shame we just haven't got another league game to go into, rather than the United game. No, I don't think he can really now. I think
he can.
If he goes
he
back,
can.
Yeah, well, then
I wish you lot would stop pissing on my cornflakes. I'm going up there. I'm driving up there. 230 miles. I'm driving up there.
What, you going to Brighton?
I'm going to fucking Man U on Wednesday.
Oh, fuck. What are you doing that for on a Wednesday night?
You lot are saying, what a waste of time. I hope we lose and everything else. Like, fuck off. I'm going up there. Proper supporter.
Hi, Nick. By the way, I had a phone call in a week from a relative of mine, Brian. I haven't spoken to for a long time. And he reminded me his son's watched the show, and Michael Martin, and he watches the show as well every week. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But we went to the 1975 FA Cup final together.
Oh, right.
And the semi-final replay at Stamford Bridge when it was snowing. Alan Taylor scored twice. So it brought back nice. We was having a chat about that and both nice memories,
Oh,
nice.
And
you think these cup wins? I know Nigel Carnaby sitting in nodding his head with me now, but I don't think we can throw the cups. I think we've got to try and have a go. We've not won anything for a long time. Yeah. And I think we can stay up.
Okay. So let's flip it another way. We're in the cups. We go for it. We get through against Man United. We get through, which we will do against the fucking arse end of Europe that we're playing at the moment in Cyprus. We're going to beat them. We're going to batter them. No matter how bad we play. So we're going to get through to the next round of that one. Then, but as a result, we're playing Thursday, Sunday football. We've got the FA Cup thrown in, and we're down to 9 games at 8 games, and we still need 3 wins or 4 wins. Are you still saying then we've still got to be pushing for the cups if it looks like it's on the edge?
No, obviously, if it got to that stage, and then obviously it was looking dodgy.
We're not far from that stage, though. We're on 14. There's only 14 games left.
Listen, if it's a choice, if it's a choice, Gary, of having, say, you've got a team and half of the team are injured, and you've got to prioritise between the league and the cup, then I would say prioritise the league, right?
Yes.
Obviously,
yes.
But
I agree with
when
you.
you've got a fully fit team like we have at the moment, and you've got options, I would say go for it all.
I'd throw the Man U game though, Gary. On Wednesday.
Away! I'm fucking driving up there. What do you want me to fucking waste of money, waste of petrol, waste of money? I tell you. Oh, by the way, this is big news. Big news. John, you'll be interested in this, right?
Hang on, wait.
All season ticket holders who purchased their tickets to the Larnaca home leg, you would have paid somewhere in the region of, well, I know I paid something like 38, 39 quid or something for my ticket.
Did you?
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that, because I'm a quite high band, right? About third from the top. So I bought 2 of them. They're selling them now for like 20 quid. They're selling them for 20 quid.
I got one for 20 quid, yeah.
And apparently... Fuck you, John. Apparently, because what they did was they said, "Oh, buy by this date, otherwise you can't have we can't guarantee your own seat," which is a load of nonsense because you could have bought your own seat anyway. So now they're selling them for like 20 quid what you paid for them, below what you paid for them. And the only way to get the money back is to call up the ticket office. And apparently, what the ticket office do, they don't refund you money; they refund you club cash.
Yeah, they always do that for everything.
40 quid. So they gave us no choice but to buy the tickets, and now the only choice they're giving us is club cash refund, where I can buy some half-price
Go and get
piece
yourself.
of fat.
Go and get yourself a lunchbox or something from the club
That's
shop.
what I do. I'll buy myself a West Ham lunchbox. Fucking brilliant.
Anyway,
I expected more sympathy. Good.
With regards to this Cup or Premier League, what prioritise? If you look at the starting 11 yesterday, I can name another 11 players who didn't start yesterday and still quite a good side. I mean, you think about it, who didn't play yesterday?
Yeah.
And there's no, but I agree. If we get to last 6, I mean, you said earlier, Nick, 5 wins from 14. Now we've got one already.
Well, we need 5 wins and a couple of draws though.
What, even after yesterday?
Yeah. Well, 4 more wins. I think because we need
4 wins and 14 is God, we can't get that. Then we don't deserve to stay up, do we?
Yeah, but what? Yeah, I know, but you've only got look at the run of results that we just had. What was the points total before Forest, Gary? Gary, 20. What was the points total?
Yeah, I know. I agree with that.
19,
20. We're on 23 now.
It was fucking no. But I mean the points haul in there was a stretch of games there. I think if you looked at the last,
it was 5 out of 33.
It was fucking bad. Do you know what I mean? So you can't take anything for granted. That's what I'm trying to say, and I don't think we can go get. We can't go getting all dizzy because we've won 1 game at home against Forest. We can enjoy it. We can enjoy it, but we can't. We're still just 2 points above the relegation zone. It's as simple as that.
Eamon must be a band A. Put Eamon back up. He must be a band A because he paid 55 quid for his ticket, and now they're offering him the difference. That's what I say. Eamon's saying he's fraud. I'll tell you, it's not far short of that because they're actually telling you, they're warning you. They send you emails 3 times a day saying you got to buy your ticket by this date, otherwise you're going to lose.
But also, if Eamon is band A, if Eamon is band A, he is Keiko, isn't he? He's Keiko. He's Keiko.
You know what, Eamon? Do you know what will really cheer you up? I'm band C, but I always sit in fucking band A.
Yeah,
he sits where he wants,
and that is a problem. You are John. You are the problem. Why they started sending us warnings about they got to check people's tickets and shit going into the stadium. People like you who scuttle down from the upper tier to get a more expensive seat.
Do you know what I do? All I do is walk past security on my phone. I'm not even on the phone. I just go.
Hope your fucking rings next time you walk through.
Go on, mate.
I've just had a phone call. From David Moyes, and I told him about your boys' team today. He let him 5, and he said he's quite happy to come over there and sort out his defence for you.
Fucking hell, yeah. He might be able to tighten my defence up a little bit.
You were flying, weren't you?
Well, we still are flying. It shouldn't affect the outcome of the league, but I just I don't like losing.
Which league is that, Nick? By the way,
I'm a winner. Winning's what I do.
Which league are you in, by the way? What is it?
It's the East Hearts. The East Hearts League.
East Hearts, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, lads, that's my thing. I think our own form will keep us up. I think we've got very winnable home games we can win. But like I say, it can change. One thing I would say is the big game next week, Forest at home to Everton next week. That's a big game.
Yeah.
It is a big game. It is a big game. And that'll probably be, I'll go a draw on that one. I'll go a draw on that one, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Everton's way form is terrible, though.
Yeah. Eamon Green. Sorry, Gary. Eamon Green, if John sat in front of you with that fucking melon, believe me, mate, he would be blocking your view.
You wouldn't see a fucking thing, man.
You wouldn't see a thing. It's like an eclipse. It's like a solar eclipse.
Listen, we've all got big heads, haven't we? Yeah.
Do you know what happened with Zuma yesterday? What with Zuma yesterday? He wasn't in the squad, was he? I kept hearing on the YouTube that we've got a fully fit squad. Everyone's available. With no Zuma on the bench. Was he injured?
No Cornet either. No Cornet.
I think they meant everyone. I think they meant everyone was back in training. Some will be light training,
rather
than. Yeah, but some of these YouTube channels, they just talk crap, don't they?
Well, not like us. We don't talk crap.
Oh, I'd never talk crap. I never talk crap. You on the other end.
Look, West Ham, come on, you Irons. You put your name on there because I don't know who you are, right? They saw you coming. No, that was the price of my ticket. It's the price of my ticket. They didn't see me coming.
What do you think
That's how much it costs.
I mean, do you reckon we'll take out the Cyprus, lads? We've only got about 300 tickets.
We'll take about 5,000 out there, I reckon, because it's a weekend in the sun.
400 tickets to the game. There'd be 10,000 going out there.
There will be. Yeah, it will be.
Ban him.
Yeah.
Ban him. Get rid of Jonathan.
That is brilliant.
I'm not having this.
That's brilliant.
I'm far too important for this shit. Right.
Right, good stuff. Okay, Gary, thank you very much. We're going to open the phone lines and take a couple of calls if anyone does want to phone in.
Cheers, Gary.
All right,
But thanks very much. Cheers, mate.
Good night, Gary.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care, pal.
Bye.
See you, mate. Ciao, John. Ciao, mate.
See you, mate.
Right, let's put the phone number up.
He mugged you right off
Another
there,
20
didn't he?
minutes, right? Another 20 minutes.
He mugged you right off
What's
there.
the matter, Gav? What's the matter?
We can't go to bed. I'm quite drunk and I've run out of beer.
And Love Island's on. He's got Love
How big
Island
is,
on
how
hold.
big is that
juice.
bottle?
It's fucking huge. It's like
How many
a wine
how
bottle.
many milliliters in that
I don't
bottle?
know, but I don't know. Let's have a look. Does it say? Let me put my glasses on because there's no chance I can read it anyway. I don't know. It must say it here somewhere, mustn't it? Doesn't appear. Oh, 660 ml.
That's a large bottle.
It's a large bottle.
It is a
I've
large
had
bottle.
I've had
That's why
4
he's
of them on a
so
Sunday night.
You'll be fucking pickled tomorrow.
No, I'm quite pickled now, actually.
Right, people may not phone in there anyway because it is quite late. So we'll give it a couple of minutes. And if
Sunday
nobody
night.
does want to,
Well, I'm going to go
Nobody does
through
wanna
some
call
of
in.
these comments. Alex
Go on.
Bailey, it's going off topic a little bit. If anyone cares, Tommy Fury, he's slapping up that American bloke.
oh,
See,
good. Yeah. I did want to watch it. Just out of
Tommy
curiosity,
Fury,
really.
There's a crossover here because Tommy Fury won Love Island with his girlfriend.
Oh,
God,
for God's
fuck's
sake.
He
sake.
did. He won Love Island with his girlfriend. What was her name?
He came
Fucking something-
second.
What was her name? What was her?
We
He
don't
came
know the
second,
name,
didn't
John.
he?
We
He
don't
didn't
watch
win.
He
it.
didn't come second. He won it. It was her and
He
Molly
didn't.
May. Molly May was the
Oh,
girlfriend.
my
That's it.
God.
Molly
He
May.
remembers her name.
John
McCarthy.
There we go.
Who is it?
He won it. It was her and
Hang on.
Hello.
Molly May. Was
Whoa, John. Can you turn us down, please, John?
Just done it.
I can hear
going
me.
on? It's all
I can
gone
hear me.
wrong.
Come on, John. You've done this before. You're not an amateur. Come on.
No.
There's no fucking sound on.
How are you, mate? You're all right?
I'm good, brother. Yourself?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm very good.
Good. I'm really. Yeah. You upset me the other day. I was expecting you to have a coronary the other day.
What for? What, after a 4-0 win?
I'm happy now. I was
happy with the win.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? That cunt, boys. He should have done this. He should have done that. And he
Johnny Rotten.
back.
God save the Queen.
Johnny Rotten. Stop, John. Listen. Anyway, did you watch Gio? Did you watch Gio's video with Bill Gardner?
Yes.
Never heard of him.
I'll tell you what. The takeaway from that was when they asked him about about the bald. His thoughts on the bald, and he said he spoke about David Sullivan, and he said no, David Gold. He went, well, tragic what happened with David Gold. It was no one likes to say that, but he said the way I look at it, it's 1 down, 2 to go. Bit brutal, but I liked it.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
It was he said when he was managing himself, right? And he said they know we shit, and he said
I saw that.
I went into the and I kicked the shit out of 8 fellas. Only did 8 new players.
Yeah, he said when he was. Did you see it, John?
Yeah.
He said when he was managing himself, he obviously managed the team. Whether I don't know what level, but he said there was after one game he went into the showers and beat fuck out of 8 of his players.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
To be fair to Bill, Bill's a nice bloke, and
he's a lovely guy.
He used to sit next to us. He used to sit next to me and Nick's dad over at West Ham, and they used to get on quite well because they, I think they had a lot in common of their little stories from the past and stuff like that.
I did.
So yeah, he's a good bloke, Bill. He used to get there. He used to be the first inside that ground. Honestly, he used to be the first inside that ground. I don't know if he was the last one to leave because I never stayed that long, but he was always the first one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just when you were talking about managing there, Nick, and he lost 5-3, I thought that popped into my head.
I've had a fucking bad day. Yeah, I know, but I can't. Do you know what? Thinking back as well. I did kind of I don't know. I didn't really know how to react because I haven't had to sort of have a go at them or anything like that for so long, and I didn't. I just kind of they all looked a bit deflated. So I'm gonna have to have a chat with him on training on Thursday. You know?
I reckon I could have seen you being like Phil Brown at Hull City when he had them on the pitch and he's pointing at them, you know.
No. They're pretty self-critical lads. Actually, they was all pissed off themselves.
Yeah. It's not bad losing one game in 18 months, though, is it? Let's be fair.
It's not good enough, Gary. It's not good enough.
No, it's not. No.
It's not good enough. But but anyway, John, you was talking about Pochettino, weren't you?
Yeah. The story's come up again, and you said on WhatsApp, I don't think so. Not this time. I don't. I think it's too late. I think if we had a chance, it was before the World Cup. Moyes is gone at the end of the year, and Potter coming.
Oh, no. you mean in the summer?
Oh, for the summer.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'd take that. I'd take that all fucking day long. I really would. That'd be amazing.
Or even if because it's dodgy. Because I was looking at I said this earlier on. We're looking at the fixtures, right? We've got Aston Villa between the AEK games. You know, the trip to Iron Appa.
Yeah.
Then we've got Villa, and then we've got to play these Cypriots at home. So Villa in the middle of the two of them. We've got Man United coming up.
Yeah.
I can't see him. The Villa game is a problem for us, I reckon. That's where Moyes is knackered.
Yeah.
He's going to lose that. And if he loses
no, we're going to win. No, we're going to win that. We're going to win that. It's a home game against Villa. We're going to win it.
This is David Moyes.
Yeah, but this is.
Nick. I was saying it to Nick the other day. Nick was what was it? Was it on Messenger? I think.
Yeah.
And I said about David Moyes learning. Moyes, this is what I do. Win. Moyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is, there's learning, and then there's. Because I meant what I said. I think if he doesn't look at that game yesterday, and he doesn't look at the way that we played as being the reason as to why we won, and as the reason as to why we scored that amount of goals, if he somehow in his fucking mind reverts back because he thinks that that's the way to go, then I mean what I said. Then he's beyond help. There's something seriously fucking wrong with him. Because he's got the players there to play this way. He's got them there. He's got them at his disposal.
I do believe he's beyond help. Now, this is what I was going to say, right? Okay, we're 17 points from safety, right?
Yeah.
So we're safe if we play like we play on Saturday or played on Saturday, right? But was Saturday? Did Moyes listen, or was it a mutiny? Did they say, "Fuck this for a game of soldiers, boss. This is what we should be doing"? And he's going, "All right, fuck off, got it."
It's a theory, and it's something that we spoke about as well, because I think we spoke about that earlier on in the show as well. Obviously, we know that Declan Rice came out after that game and he spoke out, and he said that after the Spurs game, and he said that we set up too defensively, we weren't getting enough support to the strikers, they were isolated. So, you know, I would like to think that the players would take it into their own hands if they knew that something was that wrong. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory. It is. I mean, look. What they can't do is they can't pick the team, and David Moyes picked an attacking team. He did do that. You know, he put Ben Rama on the pitch with Paqueta, with Danny Ings up front, and we did play. The only thing the players can do is affect what happens when they're on the pitch. But if, say, for instance, against Spurs, when he's playing 5 at the back and he's playing 3 central defensive midfielders in front, what are those players going to do? There's nothing they can do. You haven't got enough in that team to kind of play a different way. So I'm not too sure. I would like to think that the players would, though. I would like to think that Ben Rama, if he's being held back, I would like to think that he just thinks, "Fuck off, boss. I'm going to do what I want." And you know, because that's kind of what you want from your certainly your attacking players. You don't want them held back.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think, you know, I reckon Moyes, because he's done it before. We had a couple of good wins. You know, a few months back, and then he gone back to this same old shit.
It's the third time. It's the third time he saved himself this season.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he should have gone the other week, and we got a win, and that was it. We've got bollocks. We're stuck with him now for another 3 games.
Yeah.
So he's really. I mean, I don't know. He's like a cat with 9 lives. He really is.
I know.
I don't know how many. Yeah, but He's got to go, but the fixtures now are going against us, especially with Europe, the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
We can't afford to lose a manager with them games. You know what I mean? We can't bring in a new manager during the European campaign.
No.
Yeah. No.
You know?
I don't. I think if he gets relegated now, that pretty much means we're fucked, because I think that would mean that we've got another bad run, because he won't get sacked if we lose the next game. It will be another. You know, the three game rule has just been reset again. So I think he's got another 3 games. So yeah, I think we're at a situation now where we kind of just need Moyes to get his shit together and get us through to the end of this season. It's what we need.
I mean, I'm not taking it away. I mean, that was a great win. We should have been playing like that all along.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry for bursting everybody's bubble, but after Saturday, I think back to type, and we're going to be moaning again until the third game when he plays a blinder again, and then job saved again.
Yeah, that's our fear. That's our fear, right? Our fear is that he will revert to type.
We all think the same thing.
Our hope is that he won't. You know, whether that's hoping in vain or whatever. You know, let's just hope that Moyes has finally, because I know when he was getting the comments of, you know, negative comments about you don't attack enough, you're too negative from his own players, he did react to it. He did react to it, and he reacted to that with a positive formation. So let's hope he ain't so. We know he's pig-headed, but let's hope he ain't. I mean, he must have seen the benefit of what happened yesterday. He looked like he enjoyed himself, for God's sake.
Do you think that Declan Rice speaking out has been the straw that's broke the camel's back? Because he's captain, his club captain speaking out as well, saying that we're playing too defensive. It could be, couldn't it?
Or the rumour that Forest was his last chance. He got, he heard that.
Got a combo, yeah.
Combo of that. But yeah, I think John's right. Johnny Rotten's right. I think his back's against the wall and he's had to change it up.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I don't really care now about the manager. It's just about the club, innit? So
that's all at this point. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's about rival. Yeah. That's all it's about. Who cares? Who cares? He's gone in the summer. That is definite, right? It's about staying up now, and that's all it's about.
Earlier on in the chat, I didn't answer the question. Mandy G did ask if Moyes was to win the Europa Conference League, would I change my stance on Moyes? No
chance.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
I think he'll go anyway. Come what
no,
may.
I'm still going to want him to go.
He can leave on a high with a good cup win on his CV. Brilliant, well done. Good luck. See you later.
Yeah. Yes. What's that, mate?
He hasn't even won a cup, has he?
No. No.
Charity Shield.
It's not a cup. It's a shield.
It's a shield.
That's not a cup. Because he's done another bloody podcast, didn't he? Was that the fifth one, fourth one? And he said, "Oh, I'd love to win a cup." And this is the team I could do it with.
Yeah.
Well,
he had his chance. He'll never get a better chance than what he had last year. But anyway, John, we're going to call it a night, mate, because it is getting late. We're going to try and wrap this up before 11.
I just want to say it's been a really good. I was pissing myself laughing all the way through this show tonight because it's been hilarious.
Oh, top man! Cheers, John.
Yeah, cheers, John.
Cheers, John.
I'll go back to the action today. I just watched that fight with Tottenham and Chelsea. That was a good one. Well, I'll see you later, guys.
See you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Mate, good luck.
Right. What's this? Oh, Gary from Romford has just texted me to say that Moyes has won all 5 games. Hang on, what's this? This is a record. Moyes has won all 5 games against Villa in the last 3 seasons.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we've won.
Good stat, Gary. Good stat, Gary. And that follows on from what I said in the chat just now. We usually do well against Villa, home and away, right? We usually do well. So we'll right. I feel good about that.
Sean wants predictions before we go for Man United.
Well, Gal, you line up there. You go first.
Well, what can I say apart from they've just won a League Cup? I mean, it's got to be head and heart, right? Head says that they're going to turn us over 2-0 at Cantor. Heart says we're going to go up there and put on something reasonable. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win West Ham. What else can I do? What else can I do? Why else would I drive up there? Does
this go to another leg or is it penalties?
No, it's done.
I'll be decided on the night.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna go West Ham on penalties.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
West Ham on penalties. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say.
They never know. Man United might have a bit of a hangover because Man United played Thursday and they played today.
Should we do predictions for Brighton next week? Because I won't be here. I'm going to the States, right? So.
Fuck.
So
I'm going to the States.
I'm going to the States. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to the US of A.
So I think Brighton. I feel that we could actually get a point up there. We're gonna get a point up at Brighton this time.
It's difficult to predict. I'm not going to take anything from Wednesday in terms of how he sets up because I'm not. So it is difficult. If he sets up, if he's positive, then I think we could get a draw or a win. If he reverts to type and he plays defensive, I think that Brighton will open us up and we'll get hurt. Yeah. But who knows what he's going to do? I don't know how to predict it. You know, I could be positive and say he's going to go for it. Stick with a winning formula, and we get a win. We get a win. We break the hoodoo away at Brighton. You know, we win 1-0.
I think he has to. To go with that same formation in the league.
He's got to. I mean, Brighton, they've won 2 out of 5. They're not brilliant at the minute, but they're still, they're still up there, aren't they? And they're still pushing for Europe. I'd be happy with a point at Brighton. Put it that way. I'd be happy. Yes, so would I.
Be over the moon. So I'm going to go for a point draw.
Sorry, Steve.
1-1.
Steve, are you out in the USA? Are you out in the USA? How can I watch West Ham games while I'm out there? Because I need some sort of.
Every single game. Every single game is televised.
It's a family holiday, right?
Gary,
every game is televised in every other part of the world. We're the only ones that have to pay for it. We live here.
I know.
Ask Danny Martinez. You probably
you know enough people out there that will give you a login to a service or something like that.
Yeah, I know. Look, I'll find someone.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be all right, Gal.
Take your funny fire stick out there with you.
Be all right. It'll be all right.
Well, we don't promote any. Why do you keep bringing that stuff up?
We don't promote piracy in any way, do we?
We don't.
No, apart from when we have Doddsy on the line.
Yeah.
I can't believe he was blocked. Poor Doddsy.
I can't believe that. He probably thinks he's done something wrong.
I know.
I don't know.
But yeah, look, that's it. Gary, wrap it up, baby.
Yeah, thanks all for joining. Thanks for all your lovely comments in the chat. It's been an upbeat and lovely evening here, a lovely Sunday evening. Let's hope we can continue it this week, and this wasn't just a false dawn. Let's hope this is the beginning of something big.
Yeah, and let's hope Nick can win a game again. So.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice if he could, because he's on a bit of a bad run now, isn't it? None out of one.
We're gonna bounce back. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. So look, we'll be back for the rambles in midweek. I'm sure John and Nick will be doing a reaction to the Man United win on Wednesday. And yes, until next time, see you soon. And come on, you irons.
Come on, you heads.
Come on, you irons. Nick out.
Did you say Nick out? Tosser. What's he gone again? I didn't do anything. I was going to end the stream.
In the theme tune.
It's fucked up now.